we have been targeted, and if you are ready to join the union, then we will spare you. Otherwise,
Really?
you'll be gone. Yeah.
Wow,
Wow.
that is insane, dude.
Insane low drop.
That is.
So
They post threatens. Who
Yeah,
was it? The
threatens.
Maoist group?
yeah, the leaders.
The media.
yeah,
That
Yeah,
is
Maoist
scary.
group
Maoist leaders.
That
did
is
that to a lot
insane.
of people.
Welcome to News, Nonsense, and more. News, Nonsense, and more.
Welcome to a new episode of News, Nonsense, and More, or another episode. So we have a returning guest. Before he was behind the camera, now he will be in front of the camera. And with in the last episode, we heard tidbits of his stories, and we felt like me and Prapti felt like it was very interesting that we really wanted him to come back, and we brought him back to the pod, and I think this will be a fun episode, more educational. It'll have a lot to do with like difference in culture, his journey. I think it'll be very eye opening for a lot of us, and it's for some people it might even be where they can connect, it can resonate, and it's always great to hear stories on this channel. And with that being said, before we continue, in the last 28 days, 90% of you have not subscribed, but you're watching our videos. So please hit that subscribe button. Help us out so that way we can keep growing and keep getting more stories in front of you guys and more guests, so that way we can have fun while having a conversation but learn at the same time too. And as you know, Prapti, our co-host, is here.
Hi.
There you go, she's there. And Mike's always in the back, doesn't like to show his face because he says he's so good looking that he doesn't want to break the cameras. And today we have Haridai. So it's actually Adishi was here last week, so it's her dad. So she has some cool stories to tell us, and now Adishi can probably interrupt him behind camera this time. But welcome to the podcast.
Hello, namaste. मेरे तरफ वार्डा. And thank you for giving me the opportunity. And getting
Thank you for
invited here,
coming.
and-
Actually, yeah, you have a busy schedule.
Yeah, and I can share my experience, my learnings, throughout those years that we have already missed.
Yeah. So I want to get right into it because I feel like a lot of people who listened to the previous podcast, and a lot of people are also asking me like about the first KFC and Pizza Hut that was opened over there. That was the one thing that really like resonated with me, because when I was growing up in Nepal, because I was living abroad,
Mhm.
I always felt like there was no like fast food joints. I remember there was a Wimpy's in like the Barmarg, which was like the closest thing you could come to McDonald's, right? Back in the day when I used to visit as a kid.
Yeah.
And I felt like, oh man, everybody over in Nepal is missing out on this. And the only thing we would basically go to as kids, I remember, was hot breads. Was it hot breads? Where you
The
Mike?
hot bread.
hot breads, right?
Any Baskin Robbins.
Oh yeah, Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins was like if you gourmet ice cream type.
And they
like
had pizza.
vibes.
There was one in New York called Nirulas.
Neuralize.
Yeah, I remember that. They had really good pizza, and that's where I started learning how to eat pizza, because that was the only place. Nigeria didn't really have like a nice pizza place, but those were my memories of Nepal, like going to visit with my family during summer vacation, and the 3 years I was there, it was kind of just that in general. That's what I felt like, and I felt like before I moved to America, that food experience wasn't there, but now it's like crazy. Now it's like very different. So
Absolutely.
so before you actually go off with that story, for the audience, if they ask you who is Mr. Hari Regmi, what would you have to say? Like if you give a little bit of a history about yourself before you dig right into it.
As a entrepreneur and the corporate level of employee, I would say the modern era of Nepal, for the retail fast food industry, that I am the one of the pioneer, like who started to open up the KFC franchisee corporate in the history of Nepal.
Yeah.
So and it's not just open; it has turned out to be the global stage and became the third highest revenue creator. So I feel proud for that, and since I was one of the ambassador,
Mhm.
and now it is running successfully all over the Nepal. And currently, I think I worked with them for 3 years before I moved to the U.S. So I worked for 3 years, and till then we had about 5 outlets, including Pizza Hut
Mhm.
and KFC. But now there are almost 26 stores all around, if I'm not wrong,
In Nepal.
in Nepal,
Wow.
in different parts of Nepal, like Pokhara, Butwal, even one in Vairua,
Mm-hmm.
Itahari. I mean, most of the big
Major
cities of
cities.
Nepal, in Nepalganj,
Okay.
everywhere, like you can see one of the outlet is,
Do you have
doing
like
the business.
okay, okay. So 26 is just in Nepal. It's actually a pretty.
Good number.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
Like so, did you think like you it would have that much of an impact? So you said in the global stage, you said number 3, right?
Yeah.
Did you think like a small country like Nepal would be like that big? Because there's so many other developed countries
Sure.
that you have, or like you have Europe, you have Australia, you would think like they would be the biggest market. So did you ever think that Nepal would be in the top 3?
I thought in a level, but I was not thinking, it would go that much higher because the time I experienced, like, earlier you were talking about, Wimpy's and
Yeah, yeah.
Nirulas, those were, the days of the 90s that,
Mhm.
where those were very famous.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
used to go to Wimpy's as well. And, even not buying them, but we just go and see how the fast food restaurant looks like.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And the hot bread you were saying that still exists in the Varmag.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they hold the business because Wimpage, if you talk about that, that was an Indian franchisee,
Mm-hmm.
who came to Nepal and they did a great business, but that does not exist anymore. But nowadays, you know, um, the people who are associated with these, the franchisees, the new modern era of the franchises. So now the people are working there and they're getting the concept, and Nepalese people are becoming entrepreneur, doing similar kind of the business, even better than, like, they are building a better, the quality standards, the operating patterns
Mm-hmm.
and the quality of the product, they are even building better one.
Really?
So that means for Nepal, it is good to be there that, people are aware, how to do the business, and they learned, and they just displayed, their the quality, their leadership, what they learned in the past, or they learned with the KFC or Pizza Hut or Taco Bell, whatever you name it. So yes, definitely it is impacted. The sales are uh, those days when you had a little, a few stores only. So they used to do the good business, but now the business has been, spread,
You spread across.
and the sales, you would probably not getting the same amount, what you're making in Dharwar or
Yeah.
in Lalitpur.
Mhm.
You would definitely not making because of the type of the customers you have, back in Nepalganj or Pokhara. I have visited few of these stores, around
Mhm.
Nepal, but whatever the vibe used to be in Kathmandu,
Yeah.
you don't see it, but they still making the business. At least the lowest sales they were making about 500,000 a day.
Wow.
So
500,000 Nepali rupees a day. That's how much
That's
is
like
that?
5 lakh. 5 lakh.
$500,000?
5 lakh.
500,000.
Wow. That's
It's
crazy.
5 lakh.
For
Yes.
Nepal, that's insane actually.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
One thing I wanted to ask Uncle was, what do you think KFC and Pizza Hut, okay, example, makes it so different in the US versus when you have it in Nepal? Kinabane, like I said last episode, Nepal when we go and have KFC, it is so
It's so much
much
better.
different and better compared to KFC here. Is the recipe different? Because I think like they would, is it catered towards the nation people and how they eat as well? Like, does it change based on where you are located? Because I know there's like franchises like McDonald's where you have different menus when you go to different countries. So is it the same formula?
Yes, as you said, you're absolutely right because every subcontinent has a different type of taste. So if it is Indian, we are part of the Indian subcontinent when you are just looking at the Nepal's picture. So yes, so they have a kind of the taste they wanted to adapt, about the region they live. They wanted to throw that kind of taste because it is more spicy. But the other region, it is better than here because the quality, I would say, like in my time, the chicken used to be brought from Brazil or Thailand.
Oh, really? It wasn't
Yeah.
even from Nepal?
No, it was not from Nepal.
Wow.
But
Right.
nowadays, yeah, they do produce because what happens is, the quality standard they have to maintain because the quality audit check. And some of the companies, because of the bird flu,
Mhm.
the country with the bird flu, even India was
Yeah.
not able to,
Okay,
import
import.
the
Yeah.
chicken
wow.
that time. So
Mhm.
we used to get from Brazil or the Bangkok, Thailand.
That's
Wow.
interesting.
So you had to bring chickens from
Mhm.
like from another
Container.
country in containers just to
Yes.
like be able to serve.
Yeah.
That is actually very. I thought like ultimately like the country in itself would be able to produce
True.
the chicken or have the chicken in order to sell,
Yeah.
right?
I will go into that way because there is a lot of politics involved there
Oh
too.
yeah, of course.
Politics
Of course,
everywhere.
of
Yeah.
course.
So as you have mentioned, Prapti, that these chickens, you said, it's really tasty and a kind of different flavor, as
Yep.
compared to the US. I'll tell you one thing. The chicken at KFC 25 years back in the US used to be the same.
Mm.
But why that has been a little change is because uh, in the US, the hospitality is going a little down. And the main issue is the pay.
Mm.
The pay rate. If you look at the pay rate, here it's very less as compared to the third world. You can say because the reason why people are getting hired all the bachelor level. They have done all the hospitality management,
Yeah.
and they are all aware. They follow the standard. They have one set of discipline that they follows. Either that is a quality, either the service, cleanliness, hospitality, maintenance, product, speed of the service, all those things they religiously follow.
Mm.
And the product, I would say, when you get the product from here, that's already pre-made product. Once it goes to the kitchen, the only thing you just bread the chicken, you dip into the cook
Fine,
and
yeah.
you cook it. But over there, they have a marination process. They have to thaw the chicken. There is a time frame, for how long that has to be thawed. After thawed, until by what time you must marinate those chickens. So if you marinate them, then within the time frame that has to be cooked. Otherwise, it has to be discarded. So they have a set. So what happens is it when you marinate them in by hand, it goes thoroughly, and it becomes very tender, very juicy. So that's where the product quality comes up there. And if that stays more than 45 minutes, you have to discard.
Oh.
So it's more stricter in outside of the US than it is over here. So why do you think there's such a disparity? Especially in the US, because I feel like that quality of food should be better in the US. So in your own personal like thought process, or like your process, why do you think?
Yeah, people are not willing to work, not willing to follow the standard. They just wants to go and spend the time because here also I work as operation manager in KFC, and it was very hard for me to retain the customer at work.
Okay.
And mostly the screening process to get those kind of people was very tough getting into the KFC or Taco Bell, you name it,
Mm-hmm.
even the McDonald's.
Yeah.
I know there are some other industry like the Chick-fil-A
Mm-hmm.
doing good. I think that is one of the best. The GNP was best since 2007.
Yeah, I heard Chick-fil-A is the
Yeah.
most profitable one, and they're closed on Sundays.
Yeah, The gross net profit is better than anyone since 2007. So you can imagine all depend on the product quality.
But you know what it is they also have one of the highest wages for all their employees.
Yeah.
So there's a correlation with that, right?
Yeah, there's they pay very good amount of money, and they have the process. Like if you work for KFC, forget to be a owner of the KFC, because you maybe like if you become marketing manager, then you probably get one KFC under your name, but that's still expensive. But if you work for Chick-fil-A, if you become a store manager, restaurant manager, they will ask you, are you going to be the partnering with us? So that person becomes
Vested.
the owner,
Yeah.
owner manager.
So that is actually very interesting. What you're saying is one company are I wouldn't say grooming, are building their next owner, like business owner.
Yeah.
From the very get-go.
True.
And that's why you see Chick-fil-A being as successful as it is.
Yeah.
And everybody has Sundays off because you can't get Chick-fil-A on Sundays, right? Because I think it's still privately owned or something like that, right? Is it privately owned?
It's because they're a
They have-
Christian owner, so Sunday is for holy day. It's
Yeah.
for mass,
Yeah.
so they don't do
Yeah.
business
Yeah,
that day.
That is
Yeah.
a religious thought. What he's thinking is the owner thought, because I did some when I studied my management, I had one case study regarding that too.
Mm-hmm.
So the main purpose of giving a holiday that time, what he was thinking of is like, if that is a holiday and I am relaxing, why not my employee should relax too on the same day and go and pray in the church?
Mm-hmm.
So let everybody have their time off, not just me, because then I will not be
Yeah.
A good
I'm not be
owner.
responsible to the God.
Yeah.
So that is it. It was the concept actually.
And it turned out to be something crazy, right? Like just how one day off can
And that's
motivate
the
people.
day you want to really eat Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's Sunday, and it's like, I really want to get to
The
Chick-fil-A.
waffle
right now.
fries. The waffle fries is great too. Like
But it got bad though. Like with the recent change, the waffle fries is not as tasty as it used to be.
you have to do with the Chick-fil-A sauce. That's what it is, man. To dip it in Chick-fil-A sauce. It's,
Chick-fil-A sauce is a little bit sweet.
What about for those people that only eat like meals, like really fast food meals on Sundays?
Well,
You don't get
you
Chick-fil-A.
don't get Chick-fil-A.
no Chick-fil-A for Sunday.
So Chick-fil-A. The chicken is off on Sundays.
But I wanted to touch on that. Like it's an interesting conversation Uncle brought up with the owner saying like, if I'm getting a holiday, why shouldn't my employees do? That's not a concept you really see
Yeah.
in any business, especially when it comes to hotel management. And this is a loaded question. To touch on the previous one, I don't really see in Nepal. Like I know there is like after you pass 10, you can go to school for hotel management too, where they really teach them about hotels, that connoisseur life. Even if you want to do restaurants and all that stuff, it's very catered around those things. And we also know people from Nepal do go in bachelors for that same thing, and a lot of people also go to countries like Dubai or any other place, Malaysia, which is big on hospitality. I personally haven't seen a lot of that in the US, and a lot of the US restaurants, especially when you have to open a restaurant, like you said, they just need to take a certain hour of food training, restaurant training, and then would be if they apply by codes, it doesn't matter in between. Most of the things, like they're open to opening a restaurant. I think it's a lot easier to do stuff over here with just like the basic training. Do you think that is also contributes to one of the reason why a lot of the food quality is going down? Because like you said, not proper training. But again, in the context of US, I'm not really well aware. So that's one question. Followed by, I had seen this video about a lot of restaurants using one market, which is Cisco. Cisco as their go-to for any restaurant stuff, because Cisco has made it really easier to get products as well as made it cheaper due to using food from like other countries, and there's a lot of like labor disparity in wages depending on the country and all that stuff, but they're able to sell that to a lot of restaurants in cheap. That's which is also one of the reasons where I heard that every food has started tasting the same. I watched a little bit of a clip on TikTok, so I'm not sure like how
Conspiracy
true.
theory.
Not conspiracy theory. Like they did go to restaurants and talk to people, but I wanted to ask you like, do you see these as reasons to why the food quality is also going down, not just with the training, but also the aspect of markets being monopolized by the same particular company, and then all these different restaurants, because it's cheaper than locally sourced, would want to get it from that specific place, so it's all the same.
Okay. Yeah. In some sort of cases, you're right, because the first thing is, especially in the U.S. market, yes, there are some suppliers, as you mentioned, Cisco. So I work for McLean, which is one of the giant, part of the Berkshire Hathaway, and currently I'm working with it. And since before that also, we used to have, all the delivery system that was delivering from McLean is the major one. Then Cisco, and there are some other U.S. foods, CFG, something like that. Different companies are there. They have they have compliances too. They have rules, they have regulations, they have they have to have certifications too in all safety, food, health, safety, and regulations. Plus, other the ingredients and USDA certified if the product comes from the outside. It has to be regulated. That is for sure. As you mentioned, the training, I think I see the major concern is there because the turnover, the employee turnover, because of the less that you're paying to your employee. What happens is they're all seasonals. You hire them, and they expect something more from you, and you're at least if you give them $10 an hour, so you're paying them $8, and they wanted 8 hours, and you were giving them 4 hours. So those are the contradictory part where teams are not going to be motivated because even though they are trained, doesn't matter. Their level of satisfaction. Maslow's theory. That when you have demand and supply, and your accomplishment that you can't meet. So if you don't meet them, the whole life is nothing for you. So you will leave the job tomorrow. You're short 2 people.
Yeah.
So your restaurant is busy, at 12 o'clock, your rush is, all the way outside, and you have only 3 employees working inside. What happens?
Yeah.
Manager has to be involved.
Yeah.
Shift manager has to be involved. They are working hard because they can't get the people.
Mm.
Then they get demotivated. Oh, am I here to be as a manager? Am I here to be as a team member?
Yeah.
So they will work, and at the end of the day, they will not be satisfied. And that gets overlooked. I was the operation manager. I even used to do the same thing because there was no way. I had to, see my numbers too. I need to see my people too. So somehow I wanted to get them over the floor, no matter what. So that's what the situation here. And every store has at least 180% of turnover.
180%.
Yes.
That is ridiculous.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And in Nepal, while I was working, so our turnover was just year to date for continuous for 2 years was 3%.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
That's
We had to
crazy.
push the people to leave the job. They didn't leave.
That's crazy.
3% turnover
fine.
is really low.
It's
Yeah.
very low.
So that's why
This is the first time I'm hearing 3% for a company.
I can show you the number too.
Okay.
No, but what you're touching base on, you're touching base on not the actual company itself. It's more about the process, right? It's about you have motivated employees, you're taking care of them, you invest in them.
Yeah.
Then they will obviously want to work hard for you, and they'll probably make it careers.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the companies who are trying to, because I'm a progressive at heart,
Right.
so I feel like people need to get a livable wage. I think that's my principles of, as far as when it comes to work. You need to pay people livable wages. in order for them to at least get out of poverty and not have to work 2-3 jobs or like be demotivated majority of the time, because that doesn't really help like society overall, right? So I think you have identified and you have talked about like how Chick-fil-A has been doing it right
Right.
and how other companies are doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Because if you have good employees, then they'll always like back up for you. It's kind of like a leader, right? If you're a leader, you go in, you lead by example, then other people will follow as well.
True.
And it's insane to say 180% in the most developed country in the world as opposed to Nepal, which is 3%.
Just because countries develop does not mean the
Exactly, yeah.
people
Yeah.
are the same. In a way, my question to Uncle, like, because I know you worked in fast food, but even in restaurants, right? I've been exposed to that culture. So, do you think that people here feel really comfortable to kind of demean their employees in a way, especially working in restaurant businesses, or um, in a way, it's kind of like a culture, or as the shows on TV, right? Like media portrays
Mm.
restaurants, and people who work in the business, like servers getting yelled at, and people yelling at each other,
Right.
and then they're always demotivated in some way. Do you think it's a cultural aspect as well in terms of that, which is why the retention is so high here in the US, is because people, and also like because server job here is something that when people are in and out of jobs, like they feel like they can come in. So do you think the people here are also comfortable with the fact that no matter how I treat these people, there are several of them which I may be able to find. So even if the retention rate is higher, there's still people wanting these jobs.
Yeah.
Do you think that contributes, like there is a factor to it?
Yes. There are different level of employees too. Like if you go, even you can just categorize them. If you go to KFC or if you go to Popeyes, you will see kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the Starbucks, you go to the Chick-fil-A, you can see, a little creamer than, what you see there. So the thing is, there are different screening process. I say too. We can't just always blame the training, but we have to sometimes blame the process driven as well. The process, because how you screening the people, what kind of people you are hiring.
Yeah.
Are they going to exceed their expectations or not?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to work that way. So you need to know if that person really understands the job or if really needs the job.
Mm-hmm.
How important that person to me, and how important the job is for that person. So that really determines what you have said earlier. So yes, the changeover of the people definitely brings the cultural impact, because it will not set up a good example. But there are ways, like as I said, what are the basic needs? If those employees are able to adapt the basic needs, if you make them feel important of your business, like ownership. If they feel ownership, if they are motivated, how they feel motivated, that is important. It's not that you always the pat on their back, that feels motivated. Yes, for some certain, that is also motivation.
Yeah.
But what other motivation factors works for them? If you see that somebody is shouting, somebody's either, if you follow the process, you need to you are able to take a correct action to avoid that thing or not.
Mm-hmm.
That drives the business with the right way. If you don't do that, then as you said, the culture is going to be like that. But if you take action, there are different way of disciplinary rules, first, second, and last warning process. If that is in place or not, then again, manager, what happens? You have a less employee, you can't take action.
Yeah.
Then what happens?
Then he has to deal with it.
That employee is gonna go over his head, in the management's head, because that person knows that, because he's not gonna fire me anyway.
Yeah.
So that's how the culture builds up, either positive side or the negative side, and business gets built up. And when they feel it is a, like I am the owner, because
Entitlement.
yeah, I am the owner, gets paid good, and definitely the culture will go away. So exactly the same thing doing this couple. And in Nepal, like I will just bring that up to Nepal's part as well. In Nepal, we had the salary was about that time maybe 18 to 20,000 per month.
For what kind of employee?
It's just the regular employees.
So the regular employees are making $18,000 to $20,000 a month in
Yeah.
Nepal. Okay.
And
That's not
on
more than
top,
nurses?
Rupees.
Rupees. But
Rupees.
I'm compared for Nepal, right?
Yeah.
That means it's pretty decent because I know some nurses that don't even make that much, like 15 to 20,000 or something
on
like that.
top of that,
On top of that.
they get the service charge. So service charge counts about 25,000 each month,
For each employee?
each employee.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just
Not bad.
no matter what, whether it is a manager or the housekeeping person or the cook or the customer service or the shift supervisor or the assistant manager, they get equally shared that service charge.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So
It's a very good concept.
when they get that money, they feel, would you think they will leave that job? No, unless you kick them out.
Yeah.
They have to perform and they want to become manager, because once they become manager, they will get about almost 50K salary.
Yeah.
When they become the store manager, they would get about 100K salary. So that's how they grow.
That's a very interesting concept. It's like, to me, it's wild because it's the same company that exists here and the same company that exists there.
Yeah.
But the entire like workforce culture of how you value your employees, how you motivate them is day and night different.
True.
I think it's also depending on how the culture is in that country, right? So in Nepal, when you go to restaurants, all restaurants charge you service fee as well as VAT.
Yeah.
That's the value added tax. Like everybody has to pay for it. So even if you don't leave a tip, which is not a big tipping, Nepal does not have a big tipping culture. Even though like last time I was there, I did see tipping culture there as well. However, like the service charge is always there. And in a lot of Asian countries, the service charge is predetermined and it's already added in the bill. That's why when you go to some countries and leave a tip, it is actually very disrespectful
Yeah, in Japan.
towards the workers. Not just in Japan, there's few of them. So it's actually very disrespectful to people who are working in service industry because of how the culture is built here in the service industry. Does not mean that it's equivalent to the rest of the world, is something that I've learned in this whole
It is
thing.
changing in the US
Yeah.
too. Like nowadays, you can see any kind of, the business, they are charging the service charges. Even if you go to the restaurant, you can see that the tip amount is always charged to the bill. So even though if you don't pay them, doesn't matter.
You know what the crazy thing is in the US though? Like what I see happening is the tipping culture is like getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Because because the companies are, I think when you make billions of dollars as a company, I think you can put maybe 1 billion aside to make the quality of
Your
work better for
employees,
your
yeah.
employees, like invest in their employees. I mean, it goes to show like if a small country like Nepal can do that for their employees and motivate them in that way, where you are telling me that there's a 3% retention rate and you kind of have to force people out, right? I think if and with that budget, like you're not making billions of dollars like you're making in the United States of America. If
Right.
that is possible in a small country like that, then it is absolutely possible over here.
Yeah.
And that highlights it highlights a more of a structural issue from these companies, and
And it's not just like big companies, right? Even in small places, small businesses, I'm not going to say all, but servers, especially workers who are working, they don't get paid well. Like they're working in less than minimum wage. I've heard like $2,
$3.
$3 per hour where they work for that amount of money. I've even heard $1 per hour, which is insane. And then they say this to their workers, where it's like, you work on tips. Obviously, it makes sense if you are in a space where tipping culture is high, like maybe in New York. I know tipping culture is really big there, so people tip.
Yeah.
But if you go to maybe some other place where tipping culture is not as big,
Like Kentucky.
like Kentucky maybe. I don't know. I've never been. So if they don't tip well, then the servers are just like they're getting demotivated time and again.
Yeah.
So it's not just like while they're making the sale or whatever they need to
Order.
do as a part of the job, like it just does not make sense on the basis of wage. Because like Uncle said, in Nepal they already have like a minimum salary. On top of that, they're getting the service fee.
Mm-hmm.
And it all sounds good to start with. But over here, it's just like everybody who works in this business gets treated really poorly for some reason.
Yeah, the main reason is here, like, the employer's greed is there.
Yeah.
Because the tip is not employer's property.
Yeah.
Because it is something you work hard in and you get rewarded. That's your reward. And you're trying to convert it to the salary.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Yeah.
Because it is their rewards they're supposed to get in this.
That should be like a
involved.
bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Like I was amazed. Like they get paid really low, and it's all based on their tips, and the company charges like really high for the food. So where does the money go? All to the owners, all to the investments, and that doesn't make any sense.
This is not a true capitalism. It's kind of like oligarchy, kind of like
For
process.
me, tipping culture is actually really good, and the way the system in America, it's because if you compare to Europe, people don't work as hard as people in America for those extra tips, right?
Exactly.
And I heard like people say when you go to Europe, they don't even care about like where your food comes or not, even if you complain. But in America, they really serve you for that extra tip, right? But as Sushant said, it's getting out of hand. Like people want like more and more and more because like it depends upon your work and depends upon the customer's ability to tip you, right?
My whole thing is like Starbucks, right? I used to have a lot of Starbucks back in the day. Never had the tips that you would have. It would be a tip jar. That was like my discretion.
Right.
I wanted like 50 cents, $1, $2. But now they're like it's in your face.
Yeah.
Hey, would you like to do like 15%, 10%, 25% right in front of you? I'm like, I don't like me personally as a consumer. I don't like that. And every time I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a responsibility for the company to pay your employees.
Yeah.
And
it should not be associated with the system.
Yeah.
Like because now the first end you will see are you going to tip or not?
Yeah, exactly. That's that, right? Isn't that crazy?
Sometimes you may feel awkward, like, okay, if you say no, the customer, I mean the server feel bad.
Yeah,
or something,
exactly.
Because she's just right in front of you.
Exactly. It's so emotional. Like sometimes I'm just like
it catches you on
off
off guard in a way where it's like like I maybe like didn't like the food that much, or like maybe the service was wrong. I don't want to tip them. Like maybe you want to tip them, you just don't want to tip them the amount. And it's like it does not even say 15%. It's 18%, 20%, 25%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it starts from 18%.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Starts from 18%.
My goodness.
And it's like, I want to use that amount, but like I have to go in and pick. Oh my God.
Because the longer you take, it's like, oh, this guy's not doing the like 18%. It's probably
I mean, I get it. Like I've never not tipped because I feel understand like servers have to work so hard for where they are or whatever it is. But I think it should be more of like employers' responsibility to make sure that their workers are taken care of.
Yeah.
It's okay. I just want to make one thing very clear. I do tip. Okay, it's not like I'm just talking about Starbucks before people.
By the
like
way,
roast
he
me.
does have a Starbucks on the side, which I'm
She
hardcore
doesn't like
judging.
this. I know she's judging.
I am
I just
judging
wanted
him.
coffee today.
But
And that was
he
the
got
best
his
thing.
coffee, and just so you guys know, he didn't tip when he got his coffee, and he's still sipping
No,
it.
not for Starbucks.
I'm sorry to the barista.
No, baristas need to get paid at least $20 an hour. You're a $1 billion company, pay them $20
Do
an
they
hour.
get $20 an hour? I don't think so.
No, it's like 15. It's still 15 or 14. But
I
anyways,
think in Texas they get more than 15.
they do.
in
They
Starbucks.
do?
Okay, thank God.
So in this fast food restaurant, is it necessary for us to tip? Because even I go to pick up, or because it's me like just doing it's not like that of work, because no server is coming to serve me or trying to know about what my allergies are. it's just me going and buying food, whatever they have, and I don't tip in those areas. I only tip when I am sitting down, and the servant like tries to feel like what food that I want. He gives hints. He gives like the best choice that I would like is spicy, and then I would like to tip. But fast food, I never tip in fast food. So.
Not just the fast food, any industry in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody is entitled to pay the tips.
Yeah. Even yesterday, I went to pick up food, and they showed me the same thing, 18%. I'm picking up the food, man. You just made it and gave it to me. I already paid for the food. Why do we have to tip over here?
It's like, why even answer that question? But yeah, I mean, that's really.
Thank God they don't add like the tipping section in your self checkout.
Oh man, that would be so annoying.
Because imagine the cash just comes out of there when you get the food.
Let me give you one example of the tip.
Speaking of, I had a Uber Eats delivery that was an autonomous vehicle, and it still asked for a tip. I was like, wait, hold on.
That is so funny.
That's insane. Yeah.
That is insane, dude. Like,
No one is
that's our sound engineer, by the way, guys. He does all the magic in the back. So all these camera changing, that's all him. So
the Uber AI asks for tips. I think that's Uber all.
No. What he's saying is in certain parts of like the city, so there's not even a driver. So you do DoorDash. It's a robotic.
AI.
AI.
Robot,
The robotic car comes and it still asks for a tip, is what he's saying.
Now I have to tip AIs. It's a different world now. Whoa,
I
that's
swear
weird.
they're gonna ask us to tip every single time we breathe something.
Uber needs more money.
Uber makes so much money.
But they need more. That's what they're saying, man.
Yeah, I think.
And they also don't, from what I've heard, they don't pay their drivers well at all.
They used to, but they don't.
Used to, one of the guys that does Uber, on the side, he told me before you would get like $20-$30.
Okay.
Right? Just to put it out there, since we're talking about it. He would just normally ask the customer, hey, I'm just out of curiosity, how much are you paying? I'm not gonna take names before you guys find. So they would pay $80, but he would only be getting $20.
Whoa.
That is absolutely insane.
In the way Uber says it, like you can keep the tip. But my thing is like when you drive, like going on a ride where you've already paid $80, you would think they would pay their drivers like properly. And then a lot of times, like before, when I didn't know, if you don't give them tip, they didn't get the money. I didn't know that, so I just thought like they got all the money, or like maybe like up to 80% of the money, at least more than 50% of what we pay for. But turns out they only get like 25-30% of what their
service they provide.
service they're providing.
Yeah, that's why Okay.
No, we had a case in Australia too. Like I recently just found this out this summer, and this guy was like, how much are you? He asked the same question. He was like, how much are you guys paying for this ride? And he talked about how much he was receiving, and he was like, you want to just cancel the ride from your app, and you can just pay me in cash. And then that's what we ended up doing. So,
wow.
But like I didn't know that either. So
yeah, it's insane. Like he was telling me the disparity of how much these companies pay. And the thing is, like in America, people like to justify. There's always a side, right? And people, they created this platform and this and this and that. Yeah, okay, fine. You wrote a code. You're doing a good job. You created something great. But the work is being done by the drivers. If those drivers are not there, then your Uber thing wouldn't exist.
Right.
That's why there's a heavy investment by these companies onto AI and autonomous driving, because they don't want to rely on people.
Yeah.
They're scared the people will run away.
But then again, that concept for me is so asinine, because of the fact that if people do not have money, then how the hell are you going to get business from people who don't have money, who generally use your service to give you money? You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me.
You're right, and there's another reason behind it too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we would like to hear that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, because now you're saying that without driver they can't make money, but on the other side, the Uber owner, whoever is owner,
yeah.
So they don't want to spend that money to the driver.
Yeah.
So if they use the technology, AI, whatever you call it, and the money they are just paying to driver, even they will take it.
And
Yeah,
also, they don't focus, like, I mean, recently it has come to focus, but previously Uber didn't do a lot when their drivers got harassed too. Like, I know customers get harassed, but there's not a lot of safety features for the drivers. And second thing that I knew, like I think a year ago or two, all the Uber drivers had created a union, and stopped driving for Uber. That's why it was so hard to get Uber. I think it was last time, about a year or two ago, because they created a union because Uber was not paying them well, and they were like, "We're not gonna drive if you guys are not gonna pay us well." However, like
you raise a very good concern. Like, yeah, that was happening like a couple of years back.
Yeah,
I think a lot of harassment. Like people were, just.
I feel like the more like
social media.
more people are divided, the more like it's going to like you're playing into their hands because. People should demand like a livable wage. I mean, every company should do that because ultimately, if the money is only like stored in under certain areas, then what is Uber going to do? Only Uber is going to do with business McDonald's, but then all the people that actually go and buy stuff at McDonald's won't have money to buy stuff at McDonald's. Eventually that's going to run out.
Right.
Any healthy economy has a very very healthy middle class because because money has to go from one place to another for it to be a good economy, right? You have to transfer money from people to people, business to business, in volume to be very, very profitable or to make it a strong economy. And I don't think that is dwindling because I know how it was back in 2001 when I first came to this country. People had, additional wealth to even support small businesses. I remember when I came here, there's a walkie-talkie phone called Nextel. People spent $600-700 for that phone. And then they also paid another $100-150 to change the case of their phone. Yeah, it was flip phones and all that stuff. But to add lights and all that stuff, you don't see doing that right now, right? You see like buying cases and stuff because obviously the phone's a little bit more modernized, right? But the fact of the matter is it's that excess amount of money that people had that they could spend. And that created jobs, that created more like, money for people to spend, go out and buy cars. Like it was very strong.
True.
But after the 2008 financial crisis, it just like collapsed at that point in time. It really, really hurt the middle class to a point where I remember a time before the collapse, how strong it was. And now we're living through the time of after the collapse. And it's crazy. I don't see us coming out of it. But also, I want to touch base on your story. So I want to know about your history. What was it that inspired you to do what you do today? And where did it all start? And if I had to ask you, when young Mr. Haridai decided to, you said you had mentioned going to Australia, before that come to US, do business, KFC. Let's start from the very beginning. What is your origin story?
Okay, so let me just begin with what I was, as a childhood, my early stage, I can say. I was born and raised in a very small village, western part of Nepal, call it Rajapur Bardia. So I did my schooling from there. So as soon as I completed my 10th grade, I moved to India for study.
Okay.
I did my +2 and my graduation. My graduation I completed from Allahabad University, which used to be known as Oxford of the East that time.
At that time.
And I was one of the fortunate guy who went for scholarship.
Okay.
Somehow I ended up being like that.
Smart too. Very smart. Now I see where you get your neurology thing from.
So came back to Nepal. I was studying my master's in English literature in Kirtipur, TU. So in the meantime, like every kid does, their youth. Okay, that was just beginning of the era. People started moving away to the overseas. I think in my whole district, I think I was the first one who went to Australia in 1995.
95, first person district.
In the whole district, as far as I know, because there is no statistical, any report. But when you know each other, in the area, like if you live there and you probably know someone, so I wanted to do my MBA that time.
Mm-hmm.
Then I quit my master's in Nepal and just flew to Australia for my further education. And over there, somehow it happened to me, as a student, you used to get the best job you used to get, like working at McDonald's, working at KFC, in all fast food, because you knew at least to speak English that time. That used to be a great deal, because in Nepal, There were no English mediums. Hardly you probably used to, if you have been to Banastali or St. Xavier's or Brandelkhand, then only you could speak English. So somehow, like, I was very fond of English since my childhood. I never studied in English boarding school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Typical Nepali medium. But once I moved to India, yes, my education was very strong foundation I built there. So in the same time when I was studying, I got to get the job working. My first job was McDonald's.
Okay.
So I worked for McDonald's for about 6 months. Then one of my friend, he said, "Oh, come and work at KFC. You get better pay." Okay, we pay you $3 extra.
What year is this, by the way?
1996.
96. Okay.
Yeah. Then I joined KFC. That time, I know it was not illegal, but I worked as a full time.
Okay.
Same time, I used to go to college as well. I had to go twice a day. I had 2 units in one day and 1 unit in other day.
Okay.
So I worked as a full time. I spent about 2 months. Then my boss said to me, "Hey, man, what you're doing? Why don't you join the management?" I said, "Oh, if it's easy, I can do it.
Mhm.
You have to get the training." So he put me on training. Then I became a shift manager. So after 3 months of shift manager, they turned out, they made me assistant manager. So in 7 or 8 months, they said, "No, you have to handle the store now."
Okay.
So I started handling the store. So I became a store manager. And that time, being a store manager, I heard there was only one guy who used to be store manager in Hungry Jack's before me. Apart from that, whoever came, became a manager, the store manager after me. So I worked for them. This guy was, he used to be the vice president, the global vice president of all KFC.
Wow.
He was based in Dallas too,
Wow.
Graham Brands. So this guy personally came to me, "I have got this many stores. You have to take care of all these stores." So he had 11 stores that time. So I started taking care of the 11 KFC stores. So that's how, even I have done my MBA in Human Resources Management, and I have never been deployed to any, the official job, because I was making more money than, the people going to the office.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me, a car, and they used to give me the bonus as well. So I was making good money. So somehow that way, even I completed my degree, I stayed with them because I wanted to be loyal.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a good amount of money. Then all of a sudden, what happened was my brother, he passed away. He had a heart attack, so he passed away. Then I felt, my dad needs me, so I gave up everything from Australia and I moved permanently to Nepal. I said, I will never go overseas. I'm going to do something in Nepal because I know I've got my skills and knowledge that, I can deploy it, and do a good business in Nepal. So I came to Nepal. That was the era when Maoist.
Yeah.
Maoist they were in a high peak. There was no certainty of the life. There is no hope, and people were, about to, everybody started getting out of the country. The people were getting killed. So that time I faced, and I couldn't do nothing. We have some family business in Nepal. Like my dad had a cinema hall business. And we had some lands, then what I was planning, back there. So I thought, I will go and manage my cinema hall in Nepal. But the time I went there, the scenario was totally changed. I could not even go inside my thing because that was all captured by this.
So they captured your cinema halls and everything. Wow.
So the scenario been changed. Then I said no. So I stayed for a while. I was thinking of doing some business, could not happen. Then from on and off, I was being involved in some of the business. Then somehow KFC Pizza Hut came up, and they charged me. They chose me, and okay, what you can do for us? I said I can do whatever skills that I learned in the past. I'll just spill that in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it started. But when it started, it was not easy, tough, because in Nepal, the proof of concept, how franchisee runs, how it has to be managed logistically. The product, even the electricity was an issue as well. So how we can manage all that, and do the startup,
Yeah.
So it took a while. We had some project managers, who worked for us. There are some financial institutions, who share the hands with the company. And since our company had already hands in Nepal, Barun Beverages, Pepsi,
Mm-hmm.
so they are the owner actually.
Okay.
So they were big shots, they had the money and successfully. Like first, in my interview time, they said, "How much money will you give? Will you make for us?" I just said 3 lakhs a day. And you're gonna be kidding me. 3 lakhs? How can we sustain if you just do 3 lakhs? I said, see, if you go to the hard bread, that's what I was looking at the Maestro. Go and see, nobody makes more than 2 lakhs a day. So I gave you, extra 1 lakh.
Mm-hmm.
So no, we are expecting something big. So they said, at least you should make at least 6 lakhs. In the first day of opening, I don't know if you have seen the people's queue. It was all the way up to the Annapurna Hotel.
So that's the one was there. It's no longer there, right? The hotel.
No, Annapurna.
Annapurna Hotel has shut down now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's shut
It's
down.
shut
Yeah,
down.
shut down. I went there recently. It's just a parking lot.
Yeah, it is shut down.
Oh. But isn't the building still there?
The building's
Yeah.
still there.
Wait, what is in the building?
Nothing.
I think that is purchased by Min Bahadur Gurung. He is about to do some business. Him and I think our former first lady Arju Rana. I think both of them they purchased.
Seems
Arju
like
Rana
I'm not sure,
Deva?
but that's what I heard.
Arzurana Deva.
Arju Rana. That's
Really,
what
she
I
has
heard.
that much of money now after that incident.
That was a long time back. I think
A long time
a
back.
couple of years ago. I think.
So it looks like you had to meet with a lot of those people.
Yeah, in the hotel industry, yeah, we used to happen to meet, and the big shots, whoever, the pioneers of Nepal, who used to open.
Pioneers.
Yeah.
Pioneers.
No, there are a lot of pioneers in the hotel business, I think.
Yeah.
We have to give them.
No.
The-
But I'm talking.
Credit where credit's due.
Credit, I give
And-
credit.
yeah.
Credit.
And the thing is, when you run the business, when you make the money, it sounds all good. As usually it's been running, but there are some circumstances that Nepal has to face. Why business can't sustain in Nepal? That's the labor problem, labor union. So there's a politics everywhere. There's a politics in the hotel. There's a, the politics in the bureaucracy, and definitely you come to know the politicians are, already
In the color.
In the
There.
politics.
in the politics. So what happened was everything was running smoothly. So we had successfully running, and we were opening another KFC in Thapatali, the Bluebird Mall.
I have
if
no
you know,
idea.
used
I've
to
lived
be-
there for 3
Used
years.
to be Bluebird
Maybe if I
Hotel.
visually see it, but you probably know, right?
Is it still
Yeah,
there?
on top.
Because before I came, it
The
was
mall,
still there. I used
mall
to
is still there.
Bluebird,
Bluebird building is still there.
but not the KFC.
KFC shut down there. I think they opened up in Lalitpur Labim Mall.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. They
Oh,
shifted.
because that's
They
the
moved.
hot spot, I think.
Yeah.
I know, there's so many hot spots, but I know the Loving Mall
That
was
was nice.
so
like nice.
popular at one point. Like,
No, but it's still popular.
it's still popular.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go.
So-
I whenever it's near Jamsikale, and I feel like Jamsikale itself has become very posh.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, but
And that area is kind of yes.
yeah.
So everything was going good, like I was busy, and engaged with, building the property, opening up the new KFC.
Mm-hmm.
In their remarks, suddenly the employees are turning out to be, you know, connecting with the labor union people, the Maoist,
Mm.
Oh, okay.
and they just palmed up one. Nobody knew. Like there was one GM there,
Mm-hmm.
so he even didn't realize, or now this guy is a big shot in IT industry. He's a CEO of Vianet. I think one of
Oh,
my
okay.
friend, yeah.
Yeah,
You
then I
should know
know.
that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So he was there, um, and somehow they got all the information. We have been targeted, and if you are ready to join the union, then we will spare you. Otherwise,
Really?
you'll be gone. Yeah.
Wow, that is insane, dude.
Insane low drop.
that is.
So
They post threatened. Who
Yeah,
was it? The
threatened.
Maoist group?
yeah, the leaders.
The media. Okay.
That
yeah,
is
Maoist
scary.
group
Maoist leaders.
That is
did that to a lot
absolutely
of people. Even our factory
Yeah, yeah, I
had
know.
a lot of
yeah.
threats over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
That's so natural over there. That's
But
so
like
common.
it's so unheard of. Like you don't. I never pictured Nepal to be like that, where you're like, okay, you either this or you.
Yeah.
I've
So-
heard stories.
So
But I want to ask before like Uncle continues.
mhm.
When that threat came in, did you already have the family started? Or
Oh, yeah. Can
yeah.
Can I interrupt? He completely forgot the part where he got married.
It's like, hello, I exist.
Hello, I'm right here. You have to interrupt now, just like he did.
No, I never thought I couldn't bring that marriage because I feel like my wife is infinite. She's there.
No,
here we go.
okay.
Since the very beginning.
Yeah.
She rolled her
I
eyes.
never thought she came, in the middle of the what do you call that show? No.
No, my question to you was like when that came to play,
Mhm.
was that something that fear not just for you, but then because they had all the information that they needed,
Yeah.
were you really scared for your family too? Because you
Yeah.
had your wife, your dad, mom, everybody around you. That's a very scary thought to come into place. And I remember I was a kid,
Mhm.
but I remember like the andolans that used to
You
be.
remember that?
Yeah, I was like probably like grade 5 maybe. I don't know, but like still very young.
Don't open that can of worms.
I'm not opening that. But I remember it like watching from Tataru when the Andolans used to come and
Mhm.
when Mamu Baba used to be on the Andolan sometimes. Like I would like try to spot them in the group of like people to see if they are there or not. But they used to always tell us like to go inside. Otherwise somebody could throw something and then it could hurt us in return. So that time was very scary, not just for people who were getting like who were just like living there.
Mhm.
So getting a threat, that must have been a very, I don't know how to put it in words,
Yeah,
but
so-
the situation. I would
yeah.
like you to like tell us how you felt.
Yeah, so this is industrial threat. Like you're running the business, you're doing some good things for the country, and you have employed the people. The business is getting profitability,
Mhm.
and in the meantime, there are some sort like the union is. It is good to be union,
Mhm.
because that protects to the employee.
Yeah.
Yeah, the workers.
But when the employee tries to misuse the union, then there is a problem. So in Nepal context, all the trade unions, they have established, they are just in favor of their political, alliance only.
Yeah.
So same thing happened, and they have a competition. Congress has one trade union, Congress. MLA has another
Trade
union.
union, yeah.
Oh.
Mahabadi has two unions.
Oh.
Yeah, two different party. One Biplab, another one Prachanda, or Vaidya group, you can say. So they had also competition there. Who wants to establish their union? So that time, that way they came up and they started threatening people. Even like they have challenged to every employee. If you don't sign up this contract, you will be nowhere. So they grip all these employees, and they formed.
a union.
So you're not even
Yeah.
dealing with one. You're dealing with like multiple ones.
Yeah, that is something, you're not discussing anything with the employee. You can't talk to them now
Yeah.
because they're part of the union. If you talk anything, you will be gone.
Yeah.
So now this is taken care by the union
Leader.
chair,
Yeah.
or let's say, for example, by the Biplab,
Mm-hmm.
those big names. And they were calling, or like any kind of their sister organizations, presidents, they're calling something, or something. There was a guy. So they started threatening us. So we shut down KFC
Yeah, for some time.
all over the Kathmandu.
Oh
more
yeah, I
than a month.
remember.
More
Like
than a month. Yeah.
More than a month.
they had the change shutter and everything, like
Yeah.
in the KFC and Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
I think.
So now the situation started. We are undergrounded. Now, what is the plan B? So the corporate, they started having discussion with them. That is the 1 month, that changed my whole structure now. So we had a plan to come to the US. Like if you heard of Himalayan Beans Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's,
They're one of the really good franchises in Nepal.
yeah,
Yeah.
they had about 17, 18 stores.
They have grew now. They've
Yeah.
grown now.
Yeah.
They're
And,
like Starbucks of Nepal.
Yeah, they're Starbucks
Yeah.
of Nepal.
Yeah, definitely.
so this guy, because I
That I
used to
remember.
train his people too. Like I used to give motivational training,
Mm.
like showing them, how we can work together
Yeah.
regarding all these hospitality
Yeah.
industrial things. So he liked me very much, and I used to buy, because I had a coffee shops too.
Okay.
I had 3 coffee
In
shops in
Nepal?
Kathmandu. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I usually buy, the coffee machine stuff from him. So he was very, fond of me. Like, say, Hari, can't we do the business? So he said, okay, let's go. And अब अहिले त तिमीलाई पनि यहाँ समस्या आएको छ.
Mm-hmm.
Why not we try to get our brand in the US? I said, how can I do that? I have settled here. I have my house here. I have my, the business here. Everything is here. So what's the point? So either you convince or I convince. So ultimately he won.
He forgot about you again.
Yeah.
He forgot about you.
No,
He
we'll
forgot
get.
about you
I
on
know.
that.
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We
We'll
are
get to
still
that.
in the business. So,
Yeah. He likes his business more than me.
so that's how, like, our plan just created. And he came to the US. He applied my business visa from here.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
And it got approved through the NBC from here.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I just went to the embassy and got the visa, L1 intercompany transfer
Yeah.
visa.
Yeah.
That's how I came here.
Oh, so Himalayan Java is the company.
Himalayan Beans. Coffee.
Himalayan Beans. Okay.
There was another one like I
Himalayan
remember.
Java, he's my friend too. We
Oh, okay.
we used to study together in
Himalayan Java
Chile.
feels like Starbucks of Nepal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. But I think Himalayan Beans was coffee shop too. Star Mall like
Yeah.
right now that's the one, yeah.
I have no
I-
idea.
He is
I'm-
everyone, everywhere.
That's the one that I
every malls.
remember like on Star Mall Putali
So-
They used to be the partner.
yeah. Oh, okay.
So what kind of business did he open over here for you to come over here? I'm curious because you said Himalayan Beans. What is he? into
Himalayan
there?
Beans Coffee. That's
Coffee.
US branches.
Oh, there's
We brought as a multinational company.
okay. Are there like locations over here?
We had before.
Oh, okay. That was a
We
while
we,
back.
we shut down. So that's why the entrepreneurship is in my vein.
Uh-huh.
So somehow I haven't started. I do I do multiple things here. I do real estate business.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was in the different profession. Now in the IT profession,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a some planned pipeline. Like opening up the business. Just wanted to do some online business, getting the importing
Yeah.
some of the steps from Nepal. That's
It's-
also
it's
in the
tough.
pipeline.
It's tough.
And I'm discussing with some of the franchises, food franchises, pizza.
Uh-huh.
It's in a different level, it's level 3,
It's
level
in
4.
You it seems like you've had that, the in and out logistical structure of all these, how these businesses function, and you're trying to implement that to bring a little bit of flavor of Nepal or a Nepali business over here.
Mhm.
But over here, food is so vast, especially in Texas. Like there's so many types of fast foods.
Mhm.
Like there are type of fast foods I've heard over here in Texas that I've never even heard. I didn't used to hear in when I was in New York.
Mhm.
Like, did you know there's Cane's? I didn't know Cane's was
Yeah,
selling
Cane's
chicken
is
too.
here.
Yeah,
Cane's
okay.
But
is-
I've never eaten there though.
I've eaten, but I didn't know like Cane's was like the competition of
They're
Chick-fil-A.
here, yeah.
And now there's another one called Zaxby's. Like I have no idea. And people are like, oh no, and everybody when I talk to over here is like, oh yeah, it's like this. And the guy, a security friend guy down there, he's like, dude, you got to go to this place. They've got the best burgers, called Burger House or whatever it is. And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
is it in Fort Worth? He's like, no, it's only in this area. You have a lot of competition here
Yeah.
when it comes to that. So, how do you view that? Like, how do you like overcome that in your mind?
Okay. One thing, like, the mantra is like customer relationship management. That retains your customer, with the loyalty, because there are different segments, like how customers or the guests get, attracted to you.
Mhm.
Either they see your place is really nice,
Mm-hmm.
either you have a very good food,
Mm-hmm.
or your restaurant is very clean, your
Mm.
place is very clean. Those are three factors. And on top of that, how the employees treat you.
Mm.
So as long as so they are all proportion to each other. So if you spend money, look, your restaurant looks really good, fine. They will say, okay, nice place. Even they give you the food. It's nice, it's very nice,
Mm-hmm.
but the points you will get less. But the way you talk to them before they leave the door,
Mm-hmm.
if they leave, no matter how good you prepared your restaurants, you spend money, but if they leave the door unhappily, that's it, done. You're done.
Mm.
So that is the time that you needed for your business.
Experience.
So they don't. Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Because I've been into restaurants and I've like said, I'm never coming back to this place. Like,
Yeah.
the food may be good, but the service is shitty. Has been like my quote unquote what I've said to a few of the restaurants, because it's right. It's about once you get in there, it's about how they treat you, because you understand like when food comes out.
True.
Restaurants have up and down when it comes to food. It's not always great. So I always like to go to the same place like at least 2 or 3 times so I can know like if the food is actually good.
Now you know I go to bar all the time.
He goes to bar like literally
The service is
if
not
he
that
could.
good though.
Yeah,
Food is good.
Yeah.
You
but
go for
we're
the food,
talking
not for the
about service.
service.
But like I've been to I don't know if I should name drop, but I was in Inchin Bamboo in Irving this one time, and the service was so bad that it didn't matter how the food was because of the service from the start.
What did you do?
The food tasted like bad because of the service, which was so weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did they do? Oh, they so we had like there were people waiting in line, and there was a big group that came in, and they were like, they didn't pre-reserve or anything, and they just said, oh, we need people for this many group, and everybody else was getting seated first, and then people in groups of 2 or 4, they were not getting seated at all, which makes sense if you think of like the grad getting added on table and whatnot. But still, like, people first come first serve is usually the motto of any service industry. Like, if you come first,
At least you acknowledge them.
yeah, at least you acknowledge them. And there were tables that were empty. It's not that it was not empty, but they were adding chairs on the side and whatnot, and like with the food orders too. And they were so rude when they talked to us. So we were like, we liked the food. That's why I went there, because I'd ordered from Uber Eats, and I was like, let me go and try in place, because by the time Uber delivers your food,
It's not the same.
it's not the same as you do in the restaurant. And the service was so bad. Even in other restaurants, when people are just like, when you're paying and they're in a group and they talk, and it's like makes you feel weird. I think service matters a lot, especially if how they talk to their employee. I don't know. I notice like stuff like that where, there's a group of people who are working, and then there's like one or two person who's not working, and they're putting so much effort. but the others are not, and then the other group is going to be mean to you. So in cases like that, like you said, when they come and ask about food, we know servers don't make the food, so we're always like, the food is good. Like I barely, even if the food is bad, I barely say that the food is bad, because I don't think it's a server's responsibility. It's usually the chef, and feedback is probably important, but I'm here to
You
eat.
tend to forget those
Yeah, you just
things.
forget
Yes.
it, especially if they're being very sweet. You don't want to like
Exactly.
discomfort them. But if they're mean from the start, then it's like
Then the day starts.
then it's like, even if the food is gonna come late, right? It's like, if let's say the food takes 10 minutes to prepare. If they're nice, you don't mind waiting. We're like, oh, like that's fine, it's okay. Like take your time, like we get it. But if they're being rude from the very beginning, then it's like, why isn't my food here yet? This is making me so mad. I don't like, and I've like stopped going to places where I've been regular in.
Don't you feel sometimes, even when they treat you that way and the food is really nice, do you ever say this food is nice?
No.
No. No, I do leave reviews saying the food was good. I tend to, whenever the service is bad, I tend to write reviews.
Yeah, but that is not the right time to say, right? Because the food, everything, like once.
Yeah,
the
it gets
start,
bad. But
everything gets
it's just
bad.
like you don't want to come back anymore because of their attitude.
Right.
So, as per your experience, the main thing is to make the customer feel like really good from inside when they visit your restaurant, even though the food is average, that they could come back again. That's one of the major things.
Yes. As long as, like you provide, the service. Service is the major point of, getting all your customers back to your
Okay.
Retention.
Is it the same for fast food restaurant or
any business.
Any business.
Any business.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A and what do you call In-N-Out ban?
Even the service restaurants also, if you go to the table, like whether you are as a manager or you are as an owner, even though you have a team, doesn't matter. You have to be hands-on. Like if I run as an owner-operated business and I want to be there just to check, I don't care about the food. I don't care about, like how hustle is in the kitchen. The only thing to check back whether the customers are happy or not. If you only do that things, your business gets prosperous.
And that's not a lot of investment, right? That's just like being nice.
Consistency.
And people who work over there, if you like lead them properly, and they'll be nice to customers too. That's it, right?
Exactly. Lead by example happening there, because you as a manager, you as the owner, if you do that, then definitely your team will
automatically
do everything.
And
That's
I
true.
think if you pay them well, they're happy to come to work and like do the job.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, well, I get paid for this. I don't mind doing the job. But if they're not, then
If you
I
treat
can
them-
understand that too. Like, I get it.
Yeah, I know.
They're gonna feel like, why should I care if you're not even gonna pay me properly for this? I think with like say to go to Mike's question, I think one thing I've noticed with what you said, like fast food service, I think I do judge restaurants based on the price range that they have for their food, and then judge their service based on that. Because if your food is priced highly, I'm assuming that it's not just for food, it's also for the service.
Yeah.
So do you think there is a correlation between that when people do go to restaurants, especially with everything these days getting, what do you call it? Reviewed and being called as like, they call it fine dining experience. But you go in there and it's not really fine dining, but it's just like pretty lights, pretty tables, pretty aesthetic.
That is stealing the concept, because if you're fine dining, means it has to be 100% fine dining. And the price, what happens about people may have, taken the things differently. They probably count the value for money, as a big deal. But when you receive the service, for me, I'm happy to pay $100, if I receive the best service. I mean, I don't know, that may not apply to everyone, but as long as you receive the best service, your pockets are always open.
Absolutely. I think that hits the nail right in the coffin. I think from your business perspective, I think you've kind of identified a lot of things about like labor and work, how to treat your employees, down to the fact of your successful business. You need to have the 3-pillar foundation, right? The aesthetics, the food, and the service, right? And you put service on top of the table, apart from the other two, because good service can even make mediocre food taste good, because they want to come back and feel good, right? People always want to feel good all the time, and I think overall, like, it seems like you've had quite a journey. Like, but one question I want to ask you is, like, when you came to the US, how was that transition? So, but before you answer that, you being a single guy and then deciding to get married, because she's like, you didn't talk about us, you didn't talk about our family, blah, blah, blah. But I want to know, like, how it was as a single guy and then transitioning into being a married man and then having your first daughter, who is, she's got a lot of spunk. She's got a lot of, like, things that she wants to do. And, your relationship and seeing her grow, right? That's another thing. So I kind of want to know, like, how that was.
Okay. So that was the time when I got returned back from Australia. I feel like I stayed, about 8 years back in Australia.
Wow, it's quite a while.
So I was not married, and I was not engaged, and I was not having any girlfriends too.
Okay.
And
not that many.
Not any.
He's trying to make sure.
Sometimes my kids doubt. How did you stay for 8 years without having it? And they ask the same questions to my friends when they visited last time to Australia. Did he have any?
She's trying to get the tea.
She still doesn't. She's still not convinced.
I still think he's lying.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
That's true.
It's a different time.
But she's like, still.
Yeah.
Still, he was young.
But it was a different time in Australia. There's a difference.
I was young. I didn't do anything, but they still think of maybe, and they have right to think
that's
of it.
Fine. That's fine.
So came to Nepal in the same time. Like, the first thing I did, I got married.
Okay. First thing you did was you got married?
Yeah, I mean, in 3 months' time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
because there was
arranged marriage, I'm presuming.
Arranged.
Oh wow. How did that?
Yeah.
Okay, explain to me how that worked. 3 months? That's crazy.
Yeah. The thing is, my family knew, my wife's family side. So they were always watching me. Okay, this guy's,
he's a good one.
good to have, like, if someone we know, and just get, attached with him. And so that's how it has been ended, because one of my cousin got married to their family.
Okay.
And I was looking for, one professional girl. My wife, she's a nurse.
Okay.
So, and somehow they liked me.
Somehow they like you didn't have to like them. It was all about it.
I definitely liked her, because I wanted to get married. Then
That's why you liked her.
Huh?
You liked her because you wanted to get married.
It's a different time. It's a different time.
Then once we got married, like, our relationship, she was I was one of the fortunate and lucky guy. Getting her, like, she was very mature, according to her age, because we have a huge age gap.
How much is the age?
10 years.
10 years? That's not
That's
bad.
my mom and dad
Yeah,
too.
that's not bad. But okay, but what year was this? by
Times
the
were
way? Just-
different.
2005.
Oh, you got married 2005?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you're pretty young then. That's pretty young. Oh, 10 years. Okay, wait, okay. They don't make him like they used to nowadays, huh? Like they like
No,
you.
but
and-
like they don't make people like him anymore, because he liked her. He was like, I'm gonna get married. Like
Yeah.
the end.
I was looking for. I had about maybe 3 or 4 girls. Like, I was just looking.
Okay, lined up. Okay.
Yeah,
It's a catch.
Maybe you might
not
get the
lined
tear.
up. But my parents, they wanted to, because they wanted me not to run away again.
Okay.
Without
They want to
getting
kind of
married.
hold you down. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to do, and that was always my wish as well, that I wanted to be obedient,
Mm.
as a parental guidance, I can say.
Mhm.
So I did, and I fulfilled their dreams, and I fulfilled my dreams, and it was fortunate that I got a very good life partner.
Mhm.
She supported me, ups and downs, always holding my hands, and she gave me three beautiful daughters. And you know how it is in Nepal, having three daughters is
Yeah.
The-
There
the
was one
people's-
Bhagya,
the son,
Saubhagya.
yeah.
people's mentality,
Yeah,
you know.
it's crazy.
And-
I was like going on Bhagya Saubhagya and like such a good luck thing,
Yeah.
but apparently it was negative.
Really?
No, but like yeah, they do have like negative undertones when you have just daughters too, but then there's positive undertones too.
Yeah.
I think in this day and age, people really like having daughters.
Yeah.
But there was a time when they at least wanted one son.
Well, I don't know, man. My mom.
even though if you don't want it, the society
Yeah, the society.
makes you think that way.
Yeah.
Even parents, not just my parents. My parents were okay, but her parents' side, mom, it should be at least, if it was one son, that should be okay. So for me, it never hurted. I'm happy what I have because that's the God gifted, and touch wood to the God. So far, I'm one of the luckiest guy, comparing to my brothers and all. Like they are doing all well. They're studying hard, and everyone is competitive. I know they can secure their life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I can see that. Like, especially we've talked to her in the first, and then talked to you. Like, you can see
Similarities.
the impressions of like you and her looking up to you and trying to make you proud, like through the work that you've put on through. Like, you can clearly see from it makes so much sense from her conversation last time when I have conversation with you on where she gets all that from is like looking at you guys and your struggles and everything. Like, you're lucky because like you have a son and a daughter yourself. Like, it's like she's fulfilling both of the parts right now. And so it's amazing when people do that. And you can see that, wanting to do something, start something, the same kind of, she probably relates to you and you probably relate to her a lot because of like just the conversation. But she has that like, no, like, keita garne parcha.
Yeah.
That I think you've really like made that impression in her. And that's amazing to see.
And that's kind of good to hear because that kind of in the back of my head, my motive behind like why I want to do the things I do is because so much like of it is because I hear छोरी मान्छे भएर यस्तो गर्नुपर्छ छोरी मान्छे भएर यस्तो गर्नुपर्छ in society, and to be kind of an example even like just to my family that you don't always have to be
Exactly.
there's no stereotype, especially in this generation, but also like my parents never made us feel like that either. It was always people on the outside.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That's exactly what I
Yeah.
was going to get to because,
Yeah.
like,
Same.
like you were saying, it's not a big issue for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's around you, but that
Yeah.
shows
And that makes a big difference.
difference to your
Yeah.
upbringing
That does.
and stuff like that.
Prove
So-
to the society can a guy can be a neuroscience medical person, and also a girl can be a neuroscientist.
And I
right?
think it's also the aspects of where he talked about, right? Society making you think that way. It just not affect like them as parents, but I'm pretty sure like if a daughter hears it, it leaves a very bad impression on you probably too, where it's like, well, what is wrong with me just being like, it's not even my fault
Yeah.
to be the way I am. So you being not caring about these things and supporting them, like I can see the comfort and confidence that she walks through, like it exudes in her with like the warmth like you've provided. So it's amazing.
And in Nepal, like this thing happens. Everyone like dislikes, like they have like too many girls born. But if the girl turns out to be a doctor or a lawyer, like they have become a doctor. Can you look at me?
छोरी
And,
मान्छे भएपछि
छोरी मान्छे
यस्तो,
Yeah.
like
छोरी मान्छे भएर पनि यस्तो.
Esto doctor Bonio,
yeah.
like they became doctors. Wow, and they look up to her, and that's
भाग्यमानी रहेछ
भाग्यमानी
Double
रहेछ.
standards
Yeah.
आउँछ
Yeah.
त्यता when
First they like you know talking shit about them, and
Yeah.
after they have turned like
success.
and
then
after they have been successful, now they are like praising them.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's
true.
exactly.
That's society. That's society. So,
Yeah.
So when you had your first daughter,
Mhm.
right? No, it's because she's like waiting for, I guess, you to talk about that. So, as a father, when you became, because no one's a dad, right? First, it was your first kid, you're new into it, you probably become very overwhelmed.
Right.
How did you like take that? Like,
This first kid is always, always like a princess. I mean, he always want to hold,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh.
and I feel like having the first daughter is like good luck.
Mm-hmm. Good luck.
And so because of her, the other two build up, the same way. And my second one, she goes to the grade 9,
Mm-hmm.
but she has a plan to finish her college within 2 years.
Oh, so
Damn.
she's
She
doing
wants
the sophomore to sophomore program.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that's cool.
But wait, I want to ask, what was it like raising me? Like, you
Yeah,
didn't- you didn't
I was
explain
gonna ask
part.
that. Was she an
Straight up
easy
went-
child? Because you just said she's a
He's been trying to
princess.
avoid that question. It's like, oh my God, you
But
understand
like,
how difficult
you know
your
how
skin-
parents like say, the first child was easy, so we decided to have a second one. Or sometimes like the first child was hard, but like the second child was easy. So for you, I know she like when she talked last time, she said like, oh, I was a hard kid, like I'm a very stubborn kid, I'm very feisty. But like from your side, and I can see that in her obviously, but I feel like she thinks of it that way, but like she's so sweet. She's just so sweet in general. She's so like disciplined and mannered, and I don't know how to put it. Like you're just like a sweet person. And like for her to say that she's feisty, like obviously like daughters are feisty, more feisty towards I think their dad than their mom. So how was it for you? Like was she an easy child to deal with?
The other two, or you're talking about the middle one?
one
I
that's
guess
right here.
Are
the
you
one that's right.
serious?
For her, okay.
We're
She's
talking about
Well, all of them, but let's start with her.
Let's start with her.
she's the first one, and she got like most of the care. The first, she was more focused. As a parent's view, and what can I say? She always used to listen to us.
Mm.
Sometimes, like she ignored, and she treats herself like she's very, like the responsible person. She's taking care of the other two siblings.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she does. So we sometimes we don't like that. You don't have to take the burden of that. It's our responsibility. We do take care of that. So because the middle one, whenever while walking on the road, she's where's Kanchi gone? Like we don't worry that much. She worries.
my biggest fear when I was little was that I was gonna lose my sister. Like she was gonna get lost because she was very like
Tzaktzake
tzaktzake. Yeah, ekdamai tzaktzake. Like she would walk around. Even when we were coming on the way to America, she like the flight attendants would constantly yell at me and my mom because she would just be walking around the plane all the time. And so my biggest fear was losing her, and I would always like pretty much yell at my mom. I'd be like, "Why are you not like?" So I need to be in charge because my mom was very like calm and relaxed. She's not gonna get lost. Yeah, she is. She's gonna get lost. Like, but yeah, I think that's what he means.
How was it
Yes,
for
yes.
you to like get the news that you're getting a sister?
Oh, my first sister, I wasn't so happy. I'll be so honest. I hated how all of the attention shifted towards her. I especially remember.
Are you sure?
Oh, I was not happy. I remember not being happy at first. Later on, obviously, I was happy, but I remember
I think
like
she was, but even the other one, the last one, she came up. They never liked, brother. I don't know why.
You guys never liked a brother, like
well, like
Always wanted to have sister.
Sisters.
yeah, I just couldn't imagine having a brother just because I already had a sister.
which
But
makes so much sense.
I don't know, maybe because of the result
the result.
they produce.
I mean, like it's interesting. It seems like you guys have a very fun family.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys do a lot of things together.
Yeah.
And as a father too, like you supported her with her like
Entire journey.
entire journey at this point. I mean, obviously, because
Can you believe until now they come to my room and all these 5 girls, like they don't want to leave us. Even like in the middle of the night also,
so just
they wants to see parents all the time.
Yeah. After
That is so sweet, honestly.
had a
We have a
long-
very good bonding.
That's
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I feel like there is a lot of distance between parents and children, especially
South Asian community.
especially within like South Asian communities, because your parents are your parents, but they're not really your friends.
Yeah.
And having to see that bond and even like showing this to the like for the audience to hear like you just hearing it, like we can see it, like they have such a strong bond, and it's so sweet to see because you're just not like father-daughter duo, but you're also like friends, and you guys are also exchanging jokes and like
Yeah.
she's like, oh, like let me
trying
interrupt
to
you. forgot
trying to
about
find
me."
out your dad's if he had girlfriends before your mom and stuff like that. I mean, but that in itself shows
It's a very big deal, and
it shows like good parenting. It doesn't have to be the strict like South Asian way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. I think a lot of new parents can also see it that way because we grew up in a very strict family, right? Like even like my mom and dad didn't realize I drank alcohol until I was 26.
But you were strict. You don't look like somebody who grew up strict.
No, our family is
No,
not that
it's-
strict. I've seen strict families. Our family is not.
No, no, I mean to say
like-
compared to like
No,
comparison.
I know strict. Sorry.
Yeah,
I think
feel
her
I've
family
known
is really
kids.
strict.
No, I get it. I mean, because I haven't
I know
experienced
strict.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about
I'm sorry,
like how
Baba.
I'm talking about like how my mom used to think. Like when I was like, I remember like I used to go party. She never knew I drank, and she used to keep telling everybody, both my sons don't drink. And then we went to Adarsh's birthday, and both of us have a wine glasses. All right, we're old enough and they'll understand. My mom comes, she's like,
You drink?
I've been telling everybody you guys don't drink. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Let
But
me
there are-
reveal the truth.
But there are parents who.
My mom is 84 years old. My dad already passed away 3 years back. They still don't know I drink.
After 80, after how many? 55 years.
I'm not the only one.
They're not gonna hear this, by the way, because they're not gonna understand it. So they're.
Okay.
No, it's. But you understand what I'm saying, talking about, right? Because
That is a respect to the parents.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's a kind of respect.
it's
that
a
you
different
give to parents,
generation
so.
overall. Like that for me, it's kind of growing up within that both those like in the between generations. Because I became the favorite
In
uncle.
between
Right.
generations.
Yeah, because like when others turned 21, I took him out. I was like,
your
okay, if we're
nephew is 21.
he's 29 now. Okay. But when he turned 21, when he was 21 back in 2016, 17,
Right.
in my mind, it's like, I know he's going to go out there and drink.
True.
I know he's going to have fun. I was like, you know what? If you're going to do that, you do that with me. So for his 21st, I took him out and I remember like he was tipsy and drunk and he was like, you're my favorite uncle ever. That's what I said. But that's why, I
But
haven't
he had
really-
never met me though.
Huh?
He had never met me though.
You would drink. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I've heard Mike is like very famous with
Yeah.
like I mean, yeah, it sounds so
Hey,
hard.
listen, he can
It's not
compete.
that-
He can compete as much as he wants, but I
No,
am the
man,
number one.
no.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways.
But
You're
just
going off
going in, I know. It's just because it's a family thing. It's like it's always a good conversation.
I wanted to say one thing I missed, like when we were having discussion about the tips.
yeah.
So for time being, I was working at Maldives. I was working as a F&B manager
What is
in one
that?
of the Sheraton Resort Hotel.
FM, when you say FMB, what does that
Yeah,
mean?
food and beverage.
Food and
Okay,
beverage.
okay.
Yeah,
Hospitality.
hospitality.
Mhm.
So I was there for a year, and I see the tipping culture. The best tipping culture is from Chinese.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
Can you explain?
What they do is they don't. They are all in full board. They've already paid everything
Okay.
for the food and all, and they come in a group. Like let's say, for example, 7-8 people.
Yeah, huge groups.
Every time they come for lunch or dinner, $1 each. So if let's say, for example, if there are 8 people,
Okay.
they will drop
At least, yeah,
$8 in a table, lunch, dinner,
That's
and they stay for 5 days. How much money will they spend?
$40.
$80.
Mm.
5 days.
Two
Oh yeah,
times.
Yeah,
two
yeah.
times $80.
$80. How much will American give them? One time, it looks like $20. Oh, $20 gave me, but nobody will count that $80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're very good tippers. Every moment they does, it looks like very small amount, but the way they do it, perfectly fine.
It's like consistency.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no.
Consistency.
But the thing about them is also they have larger groups though.
Yeah, they
They
come with the
in
family.
they come in a large family group.
Yeah.
with their nieces and nephews, and everyone goes at once. So it's like the split can be there.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
More to do with the family culture.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
usually we go
Yeah.
out, like we're always together.
Yeah, we always together, so it's easier for us to divide, right?
Yeah.
I think one rule is like, regardless of how many people you are with or how many people there are, if you've left the table to be messy, just tip.
Yeah.
Just tip
Yeah,
the
yeah,
servers.
because it's
There's
hard
nothing
to-
wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just be
Right.
Like you're adults, and if you spill all over, like,
Nah, I don't do that though.
he's
So I don't
see,
leave
so
it.
it's okay for
But
you
I
to
still
like
tip
be like
though.
minimum
I
tip,
still tip.
minimum tip.
Yeah, okay.
he's just trying to go. against
Anyways,
his
we
strong
are at the end. Before we go
Already?
to the closing, today I don't have my laptop. You know what happened? But I'm gonna do some rapid fire questions.
man. Okay.
Okay, for the
Wow.
guest over here.
Okay.
We're gonna do some rapid fire questions, like short
surprised.
answers, and even other people can answer these questions. So today is more about food and beverage, so it will be that related.
We all are
So-
failing.
He literally just did this on the spot. That's what
Yeah,
he
on
just
the
did.
spot.
He just did
Yeah.
it on the spot.
Listening to his comments, I was just preparing this rapid fire, and I want to do this in the rest of the episodes because most of the times we want to cover the whole piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we get to only know the person's like section.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the podcasts I saw, like they cannot finish the whole section, so what they do is rapid questions at the end,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can know like certain parts of the rest of the things that we want to know
Mhm.
about,
Mhm.
right? Anyways, we are doing some rapid fire questions, and other people can also answer. So choose one, okay? American cuisine, Indian cuisine, or Chinese?
Ooh.
This is rapid
Yeah, this
fire,
is
guys.
rapid fire. You gotta think
Rapid
quick.
fire means like
That
fast
question
answer.
is definitely not rapid fire. You just gave three of the. Even I'm having a hard time choosing.
Yeah, I like
I have
all
to
three of them.
No, you have to choose only one. Rapid fire.
So
What was the three choices?
American,
even give
Indian, or
Nepali
Chinese?
I would go with the Indian.
Yeah.
Okay. Rest of you guys?
I'll go Indian number one. I just feel because you know me. I just like it. I need it comfortable.
Yeah, you want to go to Bara, we get it.
That's
In
Nepal.
Nepal.
Nepali, but you're like
That's
the
Nepal, it's not
closest
Indian.
thing
So,
that's the
guys-
closest thing you have.
Okay, pick
Chinese,
one.
Indian, or American rapid fire?
Indian.
Indian, probably.
Okay.
Indian? All of
yeah.
you Indians?
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you giving me crap for?
I would do
Indian.
Chinese though.
I was
love Chinese.
debating between Chinese.
Yeah, me
and
too.
Indian. Yeah.
Okay, fast food or high-end restaurant?
I would go high end.
High-end, but you have more work mostly in fast food areas.
He's
right?
probably tired. He's probably tired of it.
Yeah,
He's
because
done
I have eaten a lot.
Now you want to choose high. For the rest of you guys,
I would probably go high end too.
high-end.
Yeah.
Sky with traveling.
If my money
health
fast
conscious.
food, if others money
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say too.
It's the money
Youngsters
thing,
would
right?
Go for the fast food. Yeah.
If you're offering, then
Then
definitely
high end.
high-end.
No,
Oh,
no
yeah.
offers by yourself. Okay.
Dates always got to be high end, right? Not like fast food.
The thing is,
I am so sorry.
That's an alert for us to
Rapid
do the
fire.
rapid fire really fast.
Yeah.
Hard work or born talent?
so this is kind of contradictory. Born talent should be
Only one though.
Just choose one. It's rapid fire.
it's a hard work. I'll go with hard work.
Hard work. You guys?
Hard work.
Hard work.
Hard work.
And I'm not copying him, by the way. Just-
Everyone's copying him. Flavor, taste, or texture in food? Taste or texture?
Texture for me.
Texture,
Taste.
taste.
Flavor.
Flavor.
Isn't
Taste?
taste and flavor the same?
Actually,
No,
there was one research, and texture is, I think, more important than flavor. It was discovered. You
Really?
can flavor, but if you don't chew and if you don't feel that kind of stuff, you don't like the food at all. You know?
Really?
There was a test done. Yeah,
I just love the taste of
Texture.
food. Like it needs to-
but if
and
it,
Did you know one thing before? There are 5 ways of eating.
5 ways of eating.
Yeah.
I just mix everything. I'm like,
so texture is also like really important. Before if you drink like chicken,
drink.
yeah, that's only taste, right? And the texture is not there. You don't like that chicken, no matter how tasty it is.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Texture
I see
means,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
You know
I
what
see what
texture
you're saying.
means,
Oh,
right?
dude. You drink chicken.
That's a good one.
That
Yeah.
is so.
So now think of it. You're drinking chicken. The flavor is the same, but you don't have the texture.
Oh, dude. That just sounds so wrong.
Yeah.
You're just
Okay.
like having chicken broth.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's
though.
not the same though.
It's
Yeah.
not the same. Okay, go ahead.
So okay, the next one. Compulsory tip or tip based on service. From your experience,
I would go tip based on service.
you guys.
tip based on service.
I'll go with service too.
Yeah. Tip
Service?
based on service.
Okay. College education or street knowledge more important from experience and so?
I think if we are discussing about the food and restaurants, I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
go with the street knowledge.
Street knowledge. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now we know in FMB, street knowledge is more important. Experience. What about you guys? College
For
education.
me, I think college.
Yeah.
I just feel like college is like
I
important.
feel like it goes hand in hand because
No,
even
no,
if
no.
you
One.
go-
Yeah,
No,
pick
no,
one.
you don't get
Something.
to
I am dumb when it comes to street smart,
Well,
so
we
I
all
guess I
know
would have
that.
to go with
street smarts.
college education because I'm dumb with street smarts.
Oh well, tell us something we don't know.
I'd say street smart.
Street smarts. Okay. High paying job or job that you would love to do without like, but very low pay though.
Very low pay.
Wait,
Yeah.
what
No,
was the
don't say
question?
very low
No,
pay.
not very low. Low pay.
Just say high paying job
high paying job or job
something you would love to do. That's key to
something
that.
you would love to do, but low pay. If I don't put the low pay,
Okay,
it'll still-
okay. How about this? Less than the high paying
Legs
job,
stay in the high paying
but it's still
job.
sustainable.
Okay, high paying job or job that you would love to do.
You would love to do.
Love to
Okay,
do.
then high. Okay,
I
because
love
most of the
money.
people I see go after the money though.
Yeah, I mean like
That was just me. I love money, but like when you have enough money, you can do what you want.
When you're passionate to do
That's-
something,
yeah.
you
You
love
make
it,
money.
you
Do
can
something you love to do.
create the money.
yeah.
What about you?
I would
That's
say
true.
I would say something that I'd love to
You
do.
love.
I'm already doing a low paying job. Like I
Yeah, exactly.
So, to all of you, what type of franchisee would you want to open? Starting from our guest, like a food chain, any type of franchisee, any cuisine that you want to.
I want to open up the franchisee who has a a good margin of profit. Let's say, for example, if
But
you
like
talk-
what type? What is it?
pizza.
Pizza. Okay.
Pizza has a high profit
You have a
margin.
dough and water. You play the game. with.
He's thinking about it. He's like, maybe I should start investing.
What type of franchise?
We need to have this conversation off camera. Wow, I've never been asked that question because I've never really done food.
We talk a lot about franchises today, right? And how
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
operated and how
But
you
but not in the food. I mean, like if
any place you can say. While he thinks, rest of you guys.
yeah, it's gonna be
If
tough
it's
one for
food,
me.
then Momo. Like I would
Momo
love to have,
franchisee,
like,
yeah, that's a really good
Momo.
one. Yeah.
That's
like,
a good one. Too.
If they
That's
can
good
have
one.
like a fast
Dumpling
food
ones.
Momo,
It's hard to do fast.
No, Momo is not a hard.
you have
hard.
a, you have
because
a,
actually you steam it like it's
In
getting
India,
really
it's really
good.
popular that fast
Yeah.
food momos are.
They call it
dumpling
momos.
ones.
Yeah.
Momos.
No
Yeah.
momos, guys. Momo.
What about you?
I'd say coffee shop.
Coffee shop? Okay.
I kind of
Smart.
just because I like coffee.
You copied.
I'm not copying. I'm
So you
thinking
gave
about.
She
but-
gave the answer, then you
She's-
thought about
she
it.
I don't know
also
nothing
has
about
that-
food. Like I don't even cook, dude. I don't even make an egg.
Not something
Yeah.
to be
So
proud of.
coffee I can do.
Survival
Maybe you want to do
skills.
Turo fast food. Okay.
coffee is like it's a fancy, it's nice, but the cost wise or it's a low end product.
That pizza it is then.
And one pizza you
Okay.
sell in $15 to $20.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, okay. Don't give away the secret. Bleep that out.
So you two guys lose money. He earns money, and Mom also earns money. Worst job you have ever done?
The
All
worst-
of you guys. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. Worst job you have ever done. This is like rapid fire answers.
The worst job I have ever done is when I moved from Texas to here. I had to do for 1 week or 2 weeks. I worked as operations manager in Walgreens,
Okay.
so I didn't like to do
He
that.
quit in a week.
Shashank.
I actually, when I was in high school, I worked at this Mexican restaurant, and I had to make stuff on the grill, and I
Hate it.
hated cooking. And then I was like, I can't do this. I
Okay.
worked there for like 3-4 weeks for summer, and I quit.
Rapid fire. Next one.
I think not everybody knows, but I think majority knows my worst job that I've done. It was IT related. I can't name drop, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm not gonna name
But we
drop.
understand. We understand.
Yeah,
Are these
but
two
anyways, toxic place.
worst job?
They're gonna see this.
I'm trying to decide between pharmacy technician or medical scribe, but I think I'm gonna go with pharmacy technician.
Smart stuff.
Okay. Best job
What? That's such a good job.
for
no, but
us though.
she didn't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it though.
yeah.
She
No,
wants
it's
to do
fine.
something she loves, so it makes sense.
Best job.
But still, smart job.
Best job, I would say, while I was working with the Sheraton Groups as F&B
Oh, okay.
manager.
Nice. Sure.
My best job was with AT&T. I was there
Oh.
8 years.
My best job was with CVS.
CVS?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good
That's-
company.
That's where I worked as a pharmacy tech.
For
So
me, I was
opposite.
Well,
into
she's the
HR.
reason why you hated that job.
Yeah. She's the reason.
I've worked here for like 6 years. I still work here, so I'd say teaching. I tutor.
Okay.
Oh, that's so nice.
And best franchisee for you guys, food franchisee.
Ooh.
This I'll give you some time, maybe.
I think
You mean the dream franchisee?
Yeah,
Yes.
best franchisee.
like what you've eaten from.
You've eaten from, you would like to go again, or you would like to own that business.
My dream franchisee, Chick-fil-A, definitely.
Chick-fil-A. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's nice.
Putting
Hey,
it out
you
there in the
you gave us
world,
the hint
in the
before.
universe.
Shushant?
I'm in my South
say
Korean.
Starbucks.
No, I'm in my South Korean barbecue saga
okay.
right now. Gen barbecue for life.
Okay.
Well, not for life, but
Prapti?
for right now.
Fair food. Oh my god, there's so many options. Like can
Best
we-
franchise. It's not like one store food. Those don't count.
Don't say frozen yogurt.
Franchisee.
profitable. What if I say mattress for?
What do you like to eat? He's asking you.
No,
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 for
only
eat.
Yeah.
food.
For eating. Not Taco Bell. None of that.
So where we?
I really like Culver's, but I don't
What's
know.
that?
There's only
Culver's.
few over here, but like it was.
But
in
that's a
Minnesota.
franchisee, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it? What kind of food is it?
Burgers.
Okay.
Okay. Adishri?
Have you heard of Halal Shack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd go with Halal. Shack.
Okay.
Halal Shack?
Yeah, I eat it every day. It's on my campus
Oh, she eats every day.
every single day.
And then that's her favorite. So, last opinion on how AI can change the landscape of these franchises and food industries.
Ooh. That's a big
That's
question.
the last one. Yeah, that's you guys can take a little bit longer to answer, but we have less time there.
I think I'll go from I'm not going in from a technology standpoint. I'm going in with the cause and effect. I don't think AI should be involved in hospitality because I feel like hospitality cannot be mimicked by a machine. It needs people. I think it has a lot to do with
Personal
service. It has a lot to do with the people cooking the food, right? You don't want it monotonous. You need some sort of flavor. Like for example, it's always the mom and pop like dhabas that taste really really good.
The best. Yeah.
The best. It may not be the nicest, but
Yeah.
that experience overall is what makes that food taste that way. And I don't think implementing AI in order to just cut costs
Not
up to
a
some
good
way,
idea.
it's not a good idea. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think
already done, and I think franchisee. I think he
And-
knows
yeah.
best
adding
because
to
the
that what
yeah.
he said. Human
Sentiment.
connection is what
I agree.
makes the hospitality business. Like the hi, how are you doing? Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. I think the whole part of it is the human connection,
Yeah.
and you can't have with robots serving you
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
what
sort
if
of-
the food is made by robots? They like put the
No, no,
pizza
no,
dough
no, yeah.
and they because
That's
lots of the
just-
stuff are being done by like
No.
robots nowadays.
I have a story which
50%.
I'm going to end with, but I want to hear.
Yeah. I want to hear mainly from our guest because he has been in this industry and I think he has also seen the changes that has happened because technology has so much like made food production really fast and large scale.
Mm.
That's-
Otherwise, we wouldn't have this large scale food.
Yeah.
Right?
That is true, but the thing is, he mentioned that the sentiments connect with the food because it's a passion. It's not just the business only.
Okay.
So it has to be eaten with the joy.
Mm.
So that's why we can't make everything. It is commercialized. Like yes, there are some certain AI functions is being used so far.
Yeah.
So
already.
that is being used means like maybe you get everything ready, then it gets mixed or it gets some review or like some kind of the connectivity they do. But in a real sense, like how the ingredients are prepared or how the process supposed to be drawn. If the human is not involved there, you don't feel. Then the day will be gone. The complete AI will be established then. That's my thing. It should not be because people eat food. Why we call it French food? Why we call it Chinese food? So there is a sentiment, attached to that.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to learn those cuisines, how to cook, and how to learn the culture, right?
I think there's a lot of culture behind when you say I want Chinese.
But we have heard from the millennials and our
Gen
boomer.
Z.
I want to hear from the Gen Z because
He's a boomer.
You just said
You
just
will
call
be
him a
like that.
boomer.
He's probably a Zen.
No, no, Gen X, sorry.
Gen X.
I don't
Boomers
know.
are like 70 years
Gen
old.
X.
I don't know what boomers is. Anyways, I would
Boomers
like to
before
hear the
us.
perspective of Gen Zs because they are the ones who will shape the future. And I think for them, it will just be casual, like robots making food. For us, it's like the culture and the sentiment, right?
Do you want your halal food made by AI?
No, I not just halal food, but like I love going to new coffee shops. Like
She's the outlier.
yeah, I just
She's the only one outlier, way far from other Gen Zs.
I love going to coffee shops and doing my work, and I can't like I know there are coffee shops that like now they have these like robots like make their coffee, and
Yeah.
like maybe you go in there once and you just go because it's trending on TikTok. You're like, wow, this is so cool, but that's it. Like you're not, like that's you're just there to say wow, and then like there's a different joy in going and like saying hi to the baristas that are super nice in most cases, and
Conversation.
In most
Yeah.
cases.
and like just the start of your morning, you're just like hi, good morning, and then they make your coffee, they give it to you, and I don't know. I just for me that's the type of vibe that I like. I wouldn't.
So, exactly as he said, like the new generations, the coffee making by robots is just like natural to them. How like people make coffee for us or food for us, that's being naturalized in this generations. Maybe she may be an outlier. She may have the desire, as she has already told us, like she likes Nepali food or home cooked food last time, right?
Very.
But
old
the new
school.
generation, they go for like robots to see, and they start normalizing it. Right, Yeah, right, okay, they robot like 90% is done by
The
robots. and
iPad kids grew up.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's a cycle.
it's a cycle.
I think it's a cycle. I think ultimately you'll see like fashion, right? It's used to be big in 70s. Now you see it coming back, in certain years.
It all
But-
gets like recycled with the current situation, whatever it is. And like with food or even fashion or any industry, to be honest, everything is political at the end of the day. And like you said with food, right? Like everybody said, I think the joy of somebody who loves making food and getting served the food that they love making and given to you tastes very different than somebody who probably hates their job and does not like making food and you're being served that food. I think they say like food made with love.
Yeah.
It is truly like food made with love always. I don't know, for me it feels like it tastes
No,
better.
I'll say this again, that biryani story with my friend's mom. I mean, I've never tasted any biryani as best as hers. And it's a human factor. I think that can never be replaced by AI. You can write as many prompts as you want, but that essence will never be there.
They may prepare, as you said, there is a possibility of, AI being
You know what
involved.
I think will happen? Like the fast food chains, they want the food to be cheaper, right? So they incorporate the robotics more, but people will go there too, and also go to the restaurants where people they will be exchanged if they want like really cheap, because students don't have money, right? They want cheaper foods, right? So they will go to those restaurants where robots are making them, and it's more cheaper for them.
Right.
But by the time they start earning, then they'll go to that old-fashioned restaurant when people. I think that's how it will be divided. later on.
One thing because you said that, right? There was just recently in X, this person talked about how AI is taking people's jobs, right, or even being outsourced. This guy checks into a motel. There's nobody in the counter.
Yeah.
There's this iPad, and he's checking in, and the guy speaking to him
Yeah.
is another guy from like India,
Oh, okay.
and he's like, "Okay, this is how you check in." Blah blah blah. He's like, what is going on over here?" When you miss out, and that got so much negative feedback, the company decided to oh no, we need to put people there
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
because there's just certain things that technology can replace, but it cannot replace a human connection. You think when you call a customer service and you have the automated message system and you're like trying to pronounce every word correctly, 263, did you mean 429? Like that is so frustrating.
Right.
So
Hack keep on hitting zero.
Yeah, but sometimes, they've gotten smarter. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But
They've gotten smart.
yeah, it doesn't work anymore. That's why you.
But that is only the current technology that is right now. Later on, like 4 or 5 years down the line, like the technology is gonna be really good and smart.
I think it ultimately it'll be detrimental to human society because human society needs interactions. If you are going to, why do you feel like the depression level has gone up higher now?
Yeah.
It's because people are alone more. Do you remember as kids we used to always go out and play,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We were always connected with so many different people with different personalities. It kept everybody grounded. But now, if everybody's just communicating online, I don't think you're going to feel like it's
Yeah.
not a good thing. Is what I'm trying to say. And it needs
Like,
to be
have you guys
regulated.
seen the trend of? I'm pretty sure you have Gen Z stare.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The Gen Z stare.
The Gen Z stare?
Like when
Yeah.
you go out to order something and like the Gen Z stare is just different. Like they don't. It's not like a real like. I don't know.
They're
how
just
to
like,
explain it.
I have no
That's
idea.
that's what I'm saying. The next generation is gonna be different, and for them, what feels normal to you is gonna be normal. Is gonna be different
Yeah.
for them.
Okay, first of
Robots
all,
are gonna be normal for them.
what is this Gen Z stare?
the way we're staring at you right now.
Just stare?
That's a staring.
They don't speak. In our generation,
They
we
just
interact more, but they don't interact.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying
So,
to say.
yeah.
You just stare.
When you go in a coffee shop and you're just like, hi.
and they're
and
like,
you-
yeah, they just stare at you.
That's what I'm trying to say. The next generation,
they don't know how to talk.
the next generation
my
doesn't
God.
need those conversations, right?
And I think
And it's dying out.
I just thought of another thing, like from a different perspective. It kind of contradicts like what I said, but like let's say when you go to a coffee
That
shop
will be the last resort.
and someone's having a bad day, like like people have bad days and your coffee might not taste as good, or I guess like do you think that might impact the service, not the service, but the quality of the food in general? Because when you have an AI making it,
It's
it's
consistent.
following a repeated pattern, right? But whenever your food is being made, you don't know if it's going to be good or bad.
And I'm just trying to say the future is going to be so different than we imagine. What we want is different, right? Because we are of the older generation, millennials and Generation X. Sorry for saying baby boomers. That was my mistake. I'm not trying to count.
No,
Anyways,
he meant it.
the next generation is so different, and the future is going to be so different. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, we will never know, right?
We will never
if
know
If
that.
you think about what we thought about back in the day before there was a phone,
Yeah.
like it's not. We never imagined it to be like the way it is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up like I watched this reel the other day. Kids in the 90s, we grew up in a time in the 80s and 90s and 85, but like where like you play with your friends, you play with your neighbors, you interacted, but at the same time we grew up with technology.
True.
Same with kids with 2000s, like early 2000. It's the same, like late 90s, early 2000. They were still on the same group,
Yeah, I mean,
especially in countries like Nepal.
You had to be born in 90. If you're born in 2000s, like, you by the time you become 10 years old, technology is already like,
That's
yeah.
why I used context of like countries like Nepal.
Yeah.
There were kids who were still like, even if you go like to Nepal,
Yeah,
you still
yeah,
see
yeah,
kids
yeah.
playing outside.
yeah.
It just depends, I think, on country. But for like from what you said with the food, consistency and everything, like that makes sense. But I think at the end of the day, whoever serves it or gives it, if it's not a person, then the value of a robot giving you the food versus the value, regardless of who cooks it,
True.
person giving you the food, I think that makes the
No,
difference.
what I'm trying to say is for us,
Right?
yes.
Yeah.
For us, it's yes. But for the next generation, it might be.
Okay, so let's
Even
say
on
let's say the
that-
AI. Look, okay, let me give you a scenario. Let's say the AI machine.
For the next generation.
Okay,
though,
for the
I'm not
next
saying about-
generation, right?
For
They-
like Yuvan and all.
Okay,
those.
yeah. Let's say the machine mess up the order. Who are they going to complain to?
The machine.
Hey, robot,
The
what are you doing?
The
No.
machine.
They'll have to call a number.
Yeah,
to call
that's
somebody.
what I'm
So
saying.
their issue will not be resolved.
But
so if
that's so low percentage in terms of
No,
robotics.
I'm thinking about like things going bad.
I
There's-
think
Human errors are more.
For the
than-
service wise, it should be good. The service, because they provided the service, we can say that's fine.
I think also with the generation that's coming up and like even the like kids who grew up in Musically who
Yeah.
are now in TikTok. I think there are a lot of people, especially like maybe in your age, you probably know this more. People actually want to get out of their iPads and their phone
Yeah.
screen and they want to
Mhm.
touch grass and actually be out more and be out there. They're asking, why are people on their phones? Why don't we have connection anymore? Because to them, like they lived a life where it was all iPad technology, everything was technology. That to them now it's like, why is there a lack of connection? Why are we not talking? So I feel like there is more incentive for even the
Yeah.
isolated people to go out though,
Mm.
Yeah.
in a different side.
I hope that
I-
changes and exactly what happens as you said. But they say those things, but when you meet them and
In their
try to talk to
screen?
them, they're all the time in their screen though.
Yeah.
It's different from what they say and what they do.
I think instead of technology, I think that's more social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, social media and technology, like they don't go hand in hand because
That's why it's
I
called
love-
technology.
yeah,
Anyways, Odysseus was saying something. Then I'll close it up.
No, I think I kind of forgot what I was saying, but I think I was saying something. I heard in a podcast too, but in one of the podcasts that I was listening to, the guest was also saying something related to like a lot of people say that like the next generation is going to be more like technology focused, but do you think like there's like a big chance that they might get tired because they're watching so much technology? 'Cause
Yeah, that
for
can
like
be that can be
okay,
true.
like for my like dad's generation, to them like technology is like, oh, this is so new, you know, so they're interested, so that they also watch like their phones a lot of the times. But for the next generation, what's new is going to be like socializing. pretty much.
Let me ask you one question. As Gen Zs, you grew up with Google Maps, right?
Yeah.
Can you go somewhere without Google Maps?
I'm actually pretty good with directions.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I heard from this one podcast, like people actually before Google Maps came, they used to navigate, right? Now people use Google Maps everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Before they go, and it's normal. It's starting to be normal to them.
I think you
and
know.
our navigation skills has gone over.
No.
there.
I think there's a difference. I use Google. I also am very good with direction, but I use Google Maps to know if there's an accident ahead
Oh yeah.
before then I can because now I'm thinking from a
You're old, man.
no.
I'm talking about
What are you talking about? I'm thinking about how to save time.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Google Maps.
But I don't know how to read a map.
Oh, that's
That's-
that.
We
The
used
big
to use
map,
the
right?
real maps.
Dude.
And
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking. But what the study found out was like people started losing their navigation skills.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess
Because
so,
of
I
Google
guess so.
Maps.
Yeah, I guess.
People
so.
are definitely going to be more dumber.
And
as-
technology, like pioneers, they have stopped using Google Maps and try to navigate by their minds because they know how harmful the Google Maps has been to them and their offsprings.
One thing I did see
So
a
that's an amazing.
video as well, which I really thought was interesting take was these days like we are able to like at first when AI came to play, we could really separate the difference between AI videos and videos
now
that were
you
not.
can't.
Now it's like getting harder and harder.
So hard.
So at
True.
this
So
point,
hard.
at one point, it's going to be where people go on social media. You can't really figure out what's
Yeah.
real or what's fake.
Yeah.
So the only way you can actually get information is to actually get yourself out there and not
That's
look
true.
at your phones.
Yeah, yeah.
So this whole thing could actually take down the entire like people being on screens because they don't know what to trust anymore, and people want to build that trust, and the only way you can do it is if you get out and talk to more people.
So Shushant, what I think we should do one day is call 6-7 people and discuss about this AI thing, how it's gonna change because it's actually causing harm.
You know what?
And also like changing our lives in a better way. So
Maybe
what's the point?
Alicia can bring 6-7 of her friends
Yeah.
and
I
put them
was-
around this table. And
I was
just-
going to say we definitely need to have other Shri on the table when we talk
Yeah.
about AI because she's doing neuroscience, and with people getting chips on their body in their
Yeah.
brains and whatnot. I think it would be a really great discussion to have.
Oh, you don't want to vote that way?
Well,
Off.
Anyways, before we start with the closing statements, if AI
said that
starts
like 5
doing
times.
everything, we don't have to tip them though.
That's not true because
Whereas Uber Eats.
no, that you're not true. Like
Hey, I didn't tip him.
yeah,
I
you
wanted it. I didn't do it though.
he automated delivery and they still ask for a tip. And AI is like, do you really think I do this for free? And then they're going to revolt and they need their rights after that. And I'm just kidding.
yeah.
But
Anyways, closing now.
But before we close, anything you want to say to people listening to you and your story? And I feel like you can inspire a lot of people to even come and tell their story because you're the first person of this age group, right, older than me, that is willing to come and actually sit down and have a conversation and just be open about it. And I feel like that is very unique and new because it's always a younger generation, right, that wants to talk and has so much things to say.
Right.
But the more we spend time in this earth, and like you said, you spent 8 years in Australia. I mean, there's so much more stories from there, than Nepal, and and then coming to US, and it's 2 hours is not enough to tell your story, which obviously maybe one day we'll have you back on and we can really go more in depth, right?
Especially with the mouse,
Yeah, I really
whole
want to know
thing.
the
we
Maoist
we
thing.
completely skipped over that part, and I'm so curious.
Yeah, like
about
the things
the
that you
whole
had
story,
to go through,
yeah.
like. But
Maybe the
any
next
message
session will
to any message to everyone that will listen to this, and maybe your friends or people that you relate to nowadays. Do you
Yeah.
think they should come out and talk more, or
Yes,
what message do
definitely,
you have?
because these things are kind of the lifetime experience. What you experience, what I have experienced, you probably didn't. You missed out some, and
yeah.
definitely the new generation have done, and we have gone through different transition phase.
Mm.
We were like with the baby boomers,
Mhm.
then we ourselves as a X generation, then we had to be involved with the Y generation,
Now with
then
the
Gen Z,
yeah.
and Alpha is on the way.
Yeah.
So this is the transitional process. What we have taken from our past. We want to throw back to the new generation. So that's how they get to learn.
Mhm.
They get to know. What was the past life too. Not as he has mentioned about the AI. So I'm sure there are some puzzles that what we did in the past could be important. In the new phase of life.
Mhm.
So yeah, they need to stay connected with it, and that is one part. As a the advice for the new generation, and the other thing is we are in the overseas, out of the country, so the same method, the same process that can be, can be shared to the people who are in Nepal,
Mhm.
who are having the lack of technologies, they don't know what we are doing, for them, sometimes it may feel like, oh, what is America? Like it's like a heaven, or it's like a different world,
Mm.
or it's like the world of the Star Trek, something like that. So they can get to learn, by sharing the technology,
Mhm.
sharing the thoughts. Sometimes you can just have a relationship with the colleges and universities, and the exchanging the programs. So get them to learn, what we learn here. So that is very much important for the context of the growth back there,
Mhm.
and sharing what you learn from here.
Yeah.
So I would like those to be part of the taken away
Mhm.
to the new generation.
That's actually pretty good. It's actually very insightful, because what you really are saying is like communicate, share, bring awareness. I think that's very, very important. And the fact that we have gone, you've and us, me too, have gone through multiple generations, but
Yeah.
it is important to sit down and talk with
Yeah.
the newer generation to let them know what it was like prior.
True.
I think that's
Yes.
because like one of the things I think I can relate to is kids who are born now, they don't know what September 11th is, what
True.
actually happened, right? So I think that in a sense is like
He's happy he can relate to somebody.
whatever the case is. Okay.
Have you heard
No.
about the gross happiness thing, GNH? That how these days in the social and environmental impact, and that is having to the human life, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
the
Yeah.
very good
Yeah.
example of Bhutan. They just do, rather than thinking of GDP side,
Mm-hmm.
They
gross
do have.
domestic product, all the money and all that. They feel because of all those AI, those kind of catalyst things, because of that, it is always important to have the happiness
Yeah.
of life. So if there is something that can be measured and that can be retained, in our life, and
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah, no, that's a great message. And I really appreciate you coming here today. I feel like we can keep this conversation going on for like hours and hours,
Sure.
because there's so
Yeah.
much knowledge, and that's the essence of it, right? You have that experience, you have that knowledge, and I want people out there who are listening, who listens to podcasts, come out, share your story, because every story is worth listening to. I feel everybody can learn something from your story, and I think it's always a fun thing. I love listening to stories. That's one thing about me. And I want to thank you for coming today. Short notice, but I really do. I appreciate you coming here, sharing your stories. I mean, nobody really has to has the need to, but you did, and I really really appreciate you for coming, and I want to thank Prapti for coming in short notice as well. Okay, see, she always says I never say anything good.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, and thank you so much, Uncle, for like coming today and talking about your experiences. We can clearly see like the trailblazer that you are, because you have been the first to do so many things, and we can see that impact in like the world today, like in context of Nepal, and like also thank you to Adushi, because she's the one who introduced us to her dad and be able to like talk about the journey. So thank you so much for coming in as well. And
You don't need to thank me.
she didn't get the tea that she wanted.
No, but I think she was here for like a really great moral support. And it was really great to see like the bond between you two as there as well. And thank you so much for giving us so much information on food industry or hospitality in general. And giving people insight on what that really looks like and how cultures really differentiate the kind of places and the employees they produced. And honestly, like, it's amazing talking to somebody who understands the industry and knows the difference of like how workers being treated versus how they are not being treated really impacts on the business. And seeing that growth is really amazing. And I hope this can be a lesson to all these different entrepreneurs and people who have small businesses to understand the business and treat their workers properly. Because like Uncle said, 3% of retention rate, like that's an amazing in Nepal. Like that's because he was able to get that sorted out for his employees, and that's amazing to have. Like it was amazing. There's no word but amazing to
exactly,
like everything you just said.
Because it's crazy how, again, in Nepal, America, right? You would expect America to do that, but it's Nepal, and it goes to show like how
the
leadership quality of it, and respecting the people you work matters. And I urge a lot of like people who are business owners to also adapt that, because it might be tough in the beginning, but it will really, really pan out in the long run. That's what I feel like.
And I also want to thank Mike for the rapid fire.
Yeah. Even though he broke his laptop today and he did the rapid fire.
But he did so great.
He did a good job. I mean, you know what? Let's clap hands for him.
No need. This is my show.
Awesome, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and thank you for 90% of you still haven't subscribed. He's pointing to me. But like, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, hit that bell notification.
What's the name of the channel?
News, Nonsense, and More.
I thought I would get it. But yeah.
It's in the TV.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Tune in next week.